You know, whenever I hear this music, I always think of Michiru. Oh wait, of course, because we're in Michiru's room, that's why. Duh.
Hello.
You just had a brain fart, huh?
Yeah, I did.
Hello, welcome back to One On. My name is Beast, and I'm back with Fruit of Grisaia. Singular. Actually, technically can also be plural, but who cares right now? People that use the fruit as the plural of fruit are fucking psychopaths anyway. Which I guess is fitting considering the student body in this game. Anyways! That is Michiru's room.
片付けの手伝いは了承したけど、あんまりチロチロ見ないでよ。
Not a problem, I've more or less grasped the structure of the room itself.
では、ゆうくん、みちる様の下着がしまわれている場所はどこだかわかりますか?
Same as you, Sachi, the top drawer of her dresser.
なんでわかるのよ。あんた、もしかしてエスパー?
Actually, that's exactly it. But if the truth gets out, it'd become a huge hassle. Keep it secret from the others, will you?
そう、あんたもいろいろ大変だったのね。
Sure have, but not because of the Espa stuff.
Vietnam.
At times like these, one can't help being grateful for Michiru's easily manipulated nature. Anyway, the room itself doesn't look that messy. Won't you want us to clean up specifically?
それはあれよ。
Averting her eyes in shame, Michiru points to a corner of her room where numerous stacks of dusty manga tower halfway to the ceiling. From a glance at the titles, they all seem to be tsundere-centric. Is one of them Zero no Tsukama? That'd be weird considering the manga ended after season 1.
ゆるゆるに縛られたままのビニール紐が自分で片付けようとして挫折したことを物語っていますね。
しょうがないでしょ。いくらきつく縛ろうとしても最後で緩んじゃうんだから。
Why dispose of them when you can just take pictures of them and put them on eBay?
Yeah. Mind you, I can't imagine her being particularly disciplined on eBay.
I would say that is just easier though. Than like trying
Unlike
to
me
look up
with
how you
War
fucking
Games minis.
dispose this shit. And that's where I came to Sachi.
そうよ。これでやることは分かったんだから、あとは任せてもいいのよね。
Yeah, I already gave you my word I'd help, so I can expect, so you can expect my best efforts.
よろしくお願いします。
Gathering the plastic strings from the floor, I make 3 loops that begin to slip the magazines inside, about 6 at a time. Get a good pile inside, then cross the strings so they intersect on top, and make a few small loops at the corners, and only then pull it taut. There, good tight bundle. You know that man slapped that shit just now. Yuji really went full dad just like this and going anywhere.
Slaps
Yes,
it.
sir. Look, if you don't do that, it's gonna go somewhere. You have to say it.
Yeah, exactly. I always do that.
You have to. It's the law.
Exactly.
何？ユージはあれ？テレビのゴールデンタイムで裏技の番組とかやってた人？
Not quite. Picked this one up from some book I read ages ago, that's all.
最近だと荷造り用の紐自体にいくつかの結び方が記載してある場合も多いですよ。
That's for sissies.
私紐の結び方なんて蝶々結びくらいしか知らないかも。
Join a scout troop if you want knot knowledge.
I don't know the name of the knot, but like, you literally... I would say there is a simpler one than just the shoelace one. You don't know that one either? The one that I currently have the strings of my pants in?
Let's learn how to tie a noose.
Oh no. Ah yes, time to tie a noose around with my fucking pants. Straight, my fucking, what do you even call these? Waistband.
Drawstring. Yeah.
Waistband. My fucking pants waistband. Like, yes, you know, just fucking, like, hang yourself at the cock.
Well, I could.
You need
could
to just,
probably
like,
kill
go
it
down
next
below.
time.
Is that what
then
it's
go
meant by
over,
well
then
hung?
in below again. Boom, fucking done. Okay.
Something's certainly getting hung.
Loosely done. Fucking tie a noose for the cock so it has support.
That's what it means by well hung, does it?
Like the fucking, like you tie the noose with the waistband so it's not a noose. It's literally just like man bra, but for the cock.
Mate, you've just made yourself a cock ring.
Oh no,
The entire
honey.
lower body. You're gonna give yourself an aneurysm doing that. Not an aneurysm, an edema.
Sachi, how much do we have left?
それが今ゆうくんがまとめているもので最後みたいです。
Man's still in motion. I asked for a progress report, only to be informed the job's practically over. By dividing the work efficiently between two of us, we've completed Michiru's request in less than 10 minutes.
じゃあそろそろ私がビニール紐で縛られてるわけを説明してちょうだい。
We need an H scene soon, okay, Michiru? Sorry, but you're gonna have to do.
Yeah, we had to fulfill the kink quota. That's how it is.
When I turned back, Michiru was rolling helplessly around the floor, her entire body bound tightly with plastic strings in the popular tortoiseshell pattern. I was joking
Ain't no
about
way.
that. Hey there, Michiru. I understand if you've acquired a taste for bondage, but it strikes me as kind of rude to play with yourself while people are doing your chores for you.
私だって好きで縛られてるわけじゃないわよ。これはあんたの彼女がやったの。
Sachi did?
はい、ゆうくんのおかげで作業的に余裕がありましたので、
うん
この機会に縛り方を体で覚えていただこうと思い
Let's
まして。
see. She wants a threesome.
You know, out of the cast, she is probably the one most likely to be like, alright, let's invite an extra person.
Either that or Sachi's just a colossal top.
I mean,
God, I wish she
here's the
was.
thing, those are not mutually exclusive. She just, like, drags Michiru into the bedroom because, like, alright, Yuji, we're both going to dom her now, and she's going to like it.
I think she would like it. I've got a feeling.
She would probably like it, yeah.
Yeah,
Who would like
Okay,
it more, though?
council has
Michi-
decided.
Who would like it more, though? Michiru or Yumiko?
Probably.
Probably Yumiko.
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know Yumiko.
Watch The Leisure and you'll understand.
Yeah.
I'll look into it.
Watch part 1 of Leisure, you'll also get to see me at my drunkest.
Yeah,
You're
completely.
always at your drunkest.
Again, I
Loser.
was drunk enough to admit a current crush I have, even though it is, like, not to a level where I would even talk about this to people.
You're always drunk.
Yes, but
You're
not
just in-
to the degree he was.
Just in varying stages of inebriation.
That reminds me, you know what? Might as well talk to people about the thing I downloaded earlier.
Porn.
The thing no, not porn. The thing I downloaded earlier is a Dungeon Duel Monsters, a itch.io game that is literally just 1v1 roguelike Yu-Gi-Oh! Essentially, there's like multiple different events. One of them, for example, is like summoning mechanic. You can either go like, focus on this summoning mechanic, or this one, or just go for like main deck monsters only, or also just do a mix by picking one of them and then just after multiple drafting stages just going, okay, like I'll now go support for something else now.
Okay.
And it's real fucking interesting, quite frankly. Do either of you play Yu-Gi-Oh? You want to do that after we're done here?
Not anymore.
I don't know how to play Yu-Gi-Oh, but
If my brother was here, he'd love a match, but I'm afraid he's busy being a dad. Also away in...
Like, I will say that this is literally just... the cards you get from the draft, there's such a high likelihood that you're just gonna end up playing Edison format, which is essentially Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D's level Yu-Gi-Oh!
I think about it, but you certainly have to teach me.
I wouldn't mind teaching you, actually. It's always nice to have new people learning Yu-Gi-Oh! I will say that it's going to be very much a long, long teaching stage.
I'll agree to it. I'll agree to it as long as I get to yell the names of my cards every time I play a card.
Don't worry, like, if in this specific thing that I was going to suggest, it doesn't automatically, like, send cards to the graveyard for you and stuff like that. You yourself have to be like, okay, I activate this, which causes me to send this one to the graveyard, so you have to click on the card and send it to the graveyard. And if it then has an effect that activates in the graveyard, you have to remember, consciously, go to the graveyard and say, like, this effect activates now. So, in a way you could say that it's very good when it comes to learning it.
Pot of Greed deck's gonna go insane.
Yeah. In this version, you can't actually get Pot of Greed because it does not function with a ban list.
This is so silly.
Because Pot of Greed, to this day, is banned.
This is tragic.
Well, yeah, because like Pot of Greed is essentially.
It's too good.
Yeah, Pot of Greed literally is too good. It literally is just, okay, I'm going to put one card in my deck that is going to artificially not only reduce the deck size of my deck by one card, but also when I draw it, I get an additional card, essentially.
It's goated. I love Pot of Greed.
Because Pot of Greed is just a straight +1. Like, even Upstart Goblin, which is a card that lets you draw only one card, has the added effect that it gives your opponent 1,000 life points. Which is like a very, very minor cost in the grand scheme of things, considering how Yu-Gi-Oh! Goes these days. But still, some people play it just to reduce their deck size, since their minimum deck size is 40 cards.
That's not what it does. That is what it does.
Also, like, how complicated Yu-Gi-Oh! Already starts when a card says when or if. Want to know the difference between a when effect and if effect? The when effect can miss timing, because the when effect needs to immediately activate after the condition is met. Which means that, for example, the way chains work in Yu-Gi-Oh! You activate a card, the opponent activates a card to chain onto that, then you activate a card to chain onto that, then the opponent activates one card to chain onto that, and the opponent somehow can activate another card because they have the conditions met. And then they go from the most frequent, the most recently activated to the first one activated. And if, for example, Chain Link 3 meets the condition to activate your when effect, it does not work, because first Chain Link 2 and Chain Link 1 have to be resolved, at which point it is already too late to activate the when effect, while an if effect can just be activated after Chain Link 1 is resolved. So yeah, like, wording can be very important in Yu-Gi-Oh!, which just makes the fact that of the entire Yu-Gi-Oh! Players don't read meme even funnier.
I summon Pot of Greed to draw 3 additional cards for my deck.
この機会にじゃないわよ。教えるなら普通に教えてよ。っていうか、そもそも縛り方違うし。
では次は本を縛るのと同じ方法で。
それはいいからさっさとほどきなさいよ、もう。
Hold on, let me get the box cutter, Michiru.
Yumiko's coming.
Yumiko's gonna borrow you a minute.
So did somebody say box cutter?
はい、わかりました。
Boxu cutter.
Although I suppose this could be taken as another demonstration of the friendly and trusted relationship these two share, the way she meekly allowed Sachi to tuss her up like a Christmas ham can only be described as pure Michiru.
でもまあ私が苦労したのが嘘みたいにすぐ終わっちゃったわね。
Well, yeah, the request itself wasn't anything particularly tough.
ゆうくん、その発言は私たちの力を借りたみちる様への侮辱になる可能性があります。
私だってやろうと思えばきっと一人でできたわよ。
その代わり、緩んだ紐が原因でゴミを出す日に階段で漫画をぶちまけ、ヌヒーと叫ぶみちる様の姿が見えます。
占うな占うな。まあ二人のおかげで助かったのは本当だから一応お礼は言っとくわ。
Yeah, same to you, Michiru. You've been a help.
ありがとうございます、みちる様。
なんか手伝いを頼んだ方がお礼を言われるって変な感じね。
No need to think too hard about that. When it's an end leave, you need another favor sometime, you can come straight to me.
そしたら今日みたいにユージが手伝ったりしてくれるの？
Yeah, as long as I can help, well, anything you want, feel free to ask. Hardly as shocking an offer as all that, is it?
その変なことは言ってないんだけど、なんでもっていうのは本当になんでもなの？
I don't know what else that means. Same deal as Sachi, basically. Of course, that only goes for the humanely possible.
それでも十分すぎる。
Muttering the words more to herself than anyone else, Michiru pumps a fist at her side in an apparent display of enthusiasm. What's with you?
なんでもないわよ。とにかく今日は助かったわ。じゃあそういうことでまたね。
Yeah. After abruptly terminating the conversation, Michiru practically pushes Sachi-me out of her room and then slams the door shut. Don't really understand what that was all about, but it seems like she has something on her mind all of a sudden. All the depraved things she would have you do to her because you said anything.
Just you wait.
昨今のゲリラ豪雨より到達。それがみちる様ですから。
By the way, I don't think I've actually mentioned this in a video yet because I didn't record it yesterday. But sadly, the VA of Karolov from Mutawarumono has died, which is a very sad thing to hear.
Yeah.
Whose voice is now going to constantly tease and bully Toka.
A disaster for the community.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure the rest of the community can step up there, right?
Possible. Like, here's the thing. This is the first time a Utawarumono MC died. Let's not forget that the MC for Mask of Truth, for fucking Haku, literally died before the Mask of Truth anime came out.
Ugh. Right. They all keep dying. They're not even that old either. I mean, how old was the most recent casualty? 60? That's no age.
Mm-hmm. How old was... Like, I know that it was very much a premature death when it came to Kenji. I think that was his name.
But yeah. Wasn't it... I think it was 56 or something like that. Not that old, though.
God damn it. I tried to input Haku behind the voice, but like, of course, it's going to show me the wrong fucking Haku.
Yeah.
Yeah, Keiji Fujiwara was the name, and afterwards it was... Actually, it's not even updated to not be just Keiji Fujiwara anymore. Actually, the English voice is Craig Daly. Who else has that man voiced? The fucking spice guy from Food Wars. Fucking...
Haku, my beloved.
The black suits from Mr. Tonegawa Middle Management Blues. Fucking Master Biblia from Trinity 7. Not too many roles, actually. And some dude from Ragna Crimson. But yeah, apparently, like, for some reason, Behind the Voice Actor only has, like, 6 versions, and it's all specifically the versions from before Keiji's passing. But yeah, Keiji passed in April 12th, 2020. He voiced AC/DC from JoJo's as well as Kagutsuchi from Nocturne.
Hell yeah.
Get around a bit.
And Leorio from Hunter x Hunter. However, even if they don't have his voice, like the new voice actor on Behind the Voice, I do know the voice actor anyway. Which was, Kentaro Tone. Anyways, enough depression.
Of course it would.
Seems the day I can finally decipher Michio's modus operandi is still far away.
それと、ゆうくんはこれから何をする予定なのでしょうか?
If staring into the wall and thinking about what I could be doing right now aren't plans, then no, I don't have any plans. Not really. Thought I'd just read in my room for a while.
でしたら、私もご一緒させていただいてもよろしいでしょうか?
Yeah, I'm the one who just asked you to try and spend time with me after all.
ありがとうございます。
These actions have meaning. It's for our own good in the long run. But even so, that doesn't change the fact that I'm taking advantage of Sanchi's internal rules to manipulate her behavior.
ゆうくん?
Something wrong?
もしかして私、何か変なことを言ったでしょうか?
No, not really.
それならよかったです。
Apparently relieved by my response, Sachi smiles broadly. I noticed this earlier as well, but apparently the girl's pretty astute at picking up on small changes in my expression. Okay, back to the topic at hand. Go grab a few books from your room and bring them over, alright? The genre doesn't matter.
わかりました。では、10分後くらいにお邪魔させていただきますね。
Yeah. When she asked that question, those clear, steady eyes seemed to be staring right through my skull to the guilty feelings rolling around inside my mind. Give me a bit of a start.
よし、2人とももう行ったみたいね。ユージが何でも言うことを聞くなんて大情報。すぐに当局へ報告しないと。
Oh no.
何?
I don't like where this is going.
Inside my practically undecorated room, silent except for the sound of the air conditioning and turned on for Sachi's benefit, I turned the pages of my book without offering any real conversation. Sachi doesn't offer a word of complaint to any of this. When I glance over, she's sitting passively exactly where she was an hour ago, a contented smile on her face. Look, Sachi, are you planning to read at some point or what?
こうしてゆうくんを見ているだけでも楽しいのですが、やはり私も本を読んだ方がいいでしょうか?
Well, I'm not trying to force you or anything, but is watching someone who's sitting around reading a book really any fun?
そうですね。読んでいる内容や部分によって表情に微妙な変化がありますし、 もう2時間くらいはずっと同じ姿勢で本を読み続けているのはすごい集中力です。これがマキちゃんなら早々に飽きを示して今頃一人インゴしりとりを始めていると思います。
That's so.
Playing Would You Rather would have been an absolute riot.
Oh no, imagine fucking Cards Against Humanity with Machina.
Oh no.
Or just all of them, to be honest.
That would actually be hilarious, yeah.
That would be very
So
funny.
depressing.
Like
One of the
Machina
cards
just like
is
plays
supposed-
like some kind of card which just reminds Amane of the forest. She just curls up in the corner.
It's just why is somebody randomly screaming now? What brought that on?
One of the cards has just been edited and it describes in great detail her father decomposing.
Like they like in this deck, there's just multiple cards that are hyper specific descriptions of everyone's trauma.
Exactly.
Like, told you this a few times, Ben, but you're definitely
should
a unique
have.
one, Sachi.
Drunk driving accident.
ありがとうございます。
For example, I don't think you'll find many people who smile happily after essentially being called bizarre to their face. But that said, spending this quiet time alone together isn't so bad on my end either. In fact, it brings back some faint memories of the old days. I used to watch each other like this a lot in the park. Look up at Sachi, who soared in the sky on her swing, and she'd look over to the bench, at me as I started my homework. At this stage of my life, the constant presence of at my side doesn't feel as natural as it did back then. That gaze makes it a little harder to relax, even. But ask me if I find it unpleasant, the answer would be a definite no. I don't like the sound of this.
Who's running? Why are they running?
Just as I'm reaching the end of my book, my attention is caught by the sound of someone rushing noisily down the stairs.
ねえ
It's
ユー
over.
ジ、今日から私たちの奴隷になったって本
Huh?
I should elaborate that in the uncensored version, Amane actually says sex slave.
I would volunteer.
Well, the fucking implication is still the same.
True, but
I'd volunteer.
I should point this out nevertheless. Just classic Amane.
I should point out that I would volunteer.
You volunteer as tribute.
Our
Well,
subjects
definitely.
and their
Excuse me.
bizarre question are too much to process on the fly. Sachi and I look quizzically into each other's faces. Look, woman, you burst into my room, fine, but do me a favor and keep with twisted delusions to yourself. Push myself up off the bed with a few cold whirlits, then deliver a light poke directly to Amina's forehead. Oh no, she's ignorant.
当だって
Wow.
気になる男の子が奴隷になったなんて話を聞いたらいても立ってもいられないでしょ普通
Hold on, Amina. I roughly understand what happened here, but where exactly did you pick up this criminally fraudulent misinformation?
それはもちろん私なのよさ
Of course, Makino twisted.
Yeah.
Another one popped up out of nowhere.
今の話をあんまねにしたら盛りのついた犬みたいに突然走り出したから痛くなる横っ腹を押さえながら頑張ってついてきたのよ
I mean, let's be fair. If he wasn't in his room, she'd be humping his bed right now, probably.
This is all very
Oh,
true.
but
盛り
that
のつい
again.
た犬ってね
I mean, to be fair, you're not beating the allegations, Amina.
No.
No.
She's not.
Where'd you hear that story from, Makina?
Oh, who's playing
Where
what?
did you hear it from?
Thing is
You heard it
occurring.
from F1
F1
Manager
Manager
2024.
That's wild. Spoiler alert. Verstappen wins.
それはもちろん
Did you want to watch the next race? Spoiler alert. Verstappen wins.
Huh. To conjecture, from what I've heard so far, it seems the offer I communicated to Michiru was badly distorted in its own way, Tomlin, the classic telephone game style, but it'd be a pain in the ass to try and correct all their misunderstandings one by one, so I guess I'll gather a whole lot of them and explain.
Want to know who wins the championship? The answer won't shock you.
But it would have been Hamilton if he hadn't retired.
Hamilton, my beloved.
Story gets even more muddled. Let's discuss this as a group.
では
To
私
be
は
truthful,
ミチル
I've
様と
always
サ
had
カ
a
キさん
soft
に
spot
お
for
声
the,
をか
the
けてきます
Finns.
ね。
Yeah, I
sure.
appreciate it.
The Finns and the Japanese.
As it turns out, Sakaki had left the dorm for a while. We ended up waiting for the slightly cooler evening before gathering in the lobby for a little chat. Now that I've got you all together, I've got a few preliminary questions for clarity's sake. Sakaki, what did you tell Makina this afternoon?
私は松島さんから聞いた話をそのままイリスさんに伝えただけよ。
Alright then, Michiru, what did you tell Sakaki?
私はユージが何でも人の頼みを聞くって伝えたはずだけど。
I see. So that's how it is.
なんで私が叩かれてるのよ。
Because from the sound of things, you're pretty obviously the sole criminal here.
だって何でも言うこと聞くって言ったらエロいこと OK って考えるんだ。だからって奴隷はないでしょう。奴隷はその考えは甘いのよ。今の若者に必要なのは発想力。常に他人の一歩先を行くことが重要なのよさ。
それとこれとは完全に別問題だと思うけど。まあうすうすそんな気はしてたんだけどね。
Smiling, Riley Amina rubs the back of her head in an uncharacteristic gesture of mild embarrassment.
でもユージが私たちの頼みを聞くって言ったのは本当の話よね。
Yeah, I did indeed say that.
だから私がユミコに伝えたことは間違いじゃないわけよ。うん。
それは分かったけれど、本当に何でもなの？
Well, it has to be something I'm capable of doing, but more or less.
それは当然としても。
どうして突然そんなことになったわけ？
It's a little complicated, but to put it simply, I'm doing this for Sachi's sake.
ああ、そういえばさっきもサチの負担を減らしたいとか言ってたもんね。
Michiru shrugs her shoulders with a mildly exasperated expression on her face.
つまりさっちゃんの彼氏になったからにはユージもメイドさんになると？
Yeah, I guess you could put it like that. Though I could quibble about that phrasing, she's got the crucial point down. I'm assuming the role normally reserved for Sachi in this dorm.
よくわからないんだけど、これはそういう話なの？
本人がそうだって言ってるんだからそうなんじゃない？だ
Enter
と
stage
したら
left, Reginald Jeeves.
これは面白いことになったね。
I'm Reginald Greaves.
お兄ちゃんがメイドになるってそんなに面白いことなのよ。
Or
さすがにトレードまではいかないまでもユージに無茶が言えるってことなんだしね。一応言っとくけどお兄ちゃんはもうサッチなもんだからな。大丈夫大丈夫。浮気にならないやり方なんていくらでもあるんだから。
Can we not do this right now? I'm still suffering from White Album.
I was about to say, I'm just want to go through the door and smack her about the face and say, no NTR.
Hold on, where's this picture Morgan sent me earlier that perfectly describes my general faith? Oh, yeah, there's...
To be quite frank, I never watched White Album. I avoided it because Beast didn't seem to like it, so I just avoided it.
Like, I am just going down the main girl route, which is already MC's girlfriend. And I'm still suffering because the MC is still a goddamn spineless idiot. Anyways,
Classic.
this. Also, more frequent picture I just saw that she sent me was like, ah yes, tell a German I'll see you later. He asks what time. It doesn't work like that. But we do also have bis später as a, like, goodbye. Oder Wiederschauen.
I thought Auf Wiedersehen was until I see you again.
Yeah, it's essentially.
Oh well. Why would you want to see some things again?
ビッチの本気怖え。ねえユミコ、もしかしてあんたも何か頼むつもりなの？
Sudden realization.
もちろん操作みたいなことは考えてないけれど、普通の用事は頼むかもしれないわね。
普通ってどんな？
マッサージとか。
ってあんたもやる気満々じゃないのよ。グフグフフフフ。あまね
She's
なんて
definitely chomping at the
完
bit.
全に中年親父になってるし。
いろんな意味で不安だわ。
なぜだか皆さんとても楽しそうですね。
You could put it that way.
I will never forget my first D&D character, which the reason why I remember him right now is that the last time we played that campaign, he was dressed in a high-quality butler outfit. Context for that is that when I first played it, I used D&D and Beyond to make the character, and they made a monk. So I was like, okay, I'm a monk. I don't need fucking weapons. So I'm just like start with starting money instead of starting equipment. A couple of sessions later, we realized, wait, he's naked. Because I didn't start with starting equipment. So, when the campaign started in a fucking tavern, what the other people saw was some assholes started harassing a half-orc. Some naked dude walks up to the people harassing the half-orc, fucking one-punch knocks out one dude with a fucking crossbow. Some fully armored paladin sitting in the middle of a tavern tries to stop him. The naked dude just kind of no-sells it, just decides, but just like leaves anyways and talks to the half-orc. Then later on, some dudes in like some thief hideout are just like sitting there peacefully. Suddenly, a fucking buff, naked, covered in blood wood elf kicks in the door to their hideout, just starts screaming at them. And in their hideout, for some reason, he finds like a very high quality butler uniform. So he just like wipes off all the blood and just puts it on.
That's probably
So yeah, Thayren
the
was
most normal D&D session.
Thayren was fucking Thayren was fucking nuts, yeah. In fact, the paladin from the tavern, that was Bud.
Yeah. That was
Before you
Arthur.
made the Doomslayer.
Yeah. We never got to finish that.
Yeah, we also never got to finish the campaign where I played Yashana.
Look. The Paladin was a great character. He was a great character. Probably my favorite. My favorite was when we got the quest from the Adventurers Guild, and to prove that we had finished the quest, he ripped out some dude's spine and took it back as evidence.
Yeah, like I said, he is just the Doomslayer. I will say though, it's still weird that like, just from like a character depth perspective, I would still argue that Yashana was somehow like one of the more well-written characters in that campaign, and it is still baffling to me, considering the entire reason I made Yashana was just to fucking piss off Soul.
Poor Soul. Wasn't very nice of you to do that.
Though, like, that one joke with fucking Haruto's character was funny, but then he took it too far.
Didn't we end up killing Haruto?
No, I don't think we ever ended up killing him, but we did just kind of axe him from the campaign, I think. Like, yeah, there was the joke about Yashana having sex with his character, but after that, his character would continuously refer to her as mommy, and at that point, it got weird.
Yeah, that's my thing. He was stealing my joke.
know, I should. Honest to God, I should probably make like a butler as a D&D character at some point. Like specifically like a high charisma rogue or something, most likely.
So you're actually making Reginald G's.
Possibly.
Possibly, yes.
Like either like a. Actually, something that could also work is a fighter. But more like I guess the things that make the most sense are still like monk or rogue, I guess. Even as the observer, a little meeting takes a rapid turn for the dubious, Sachi maintains her utterly unperturbed smile. So anyway, ultimately speaking, might be taking some of the work from you, Sachi. Is that alright with you?
はい。ゆうくんが決めたことなら、私には反対する理由がありません。
Let's see.
でもサチ、お兄ちゃんを信用するのはいいのだけど、今回ばかりは反対しておいた方がいいと思うのよ。
You know, the situation is fucked up if Machina is the voice of reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Machina is very odd, to put it lightly.
反対ってどうして？
油切った中小企業の課長みたいになってるアマネーの顔を見る限り、お兄ちゃんはきっと明日からパンツが乾く暇もなくなると思うのよさ。そうなったらお兄ちゃんの彼女になったサッチンとしては面白くねえよな。
Okay, so we have to put a cordon of troops around the washing line every time it's laundry. You do.
旦那が浮気しても笑顔で許せる物分かりのいい奥さんになんな。
I hadn't anticipated this wild burst of excitement from Mama and company, but at present Sachi doesn't seem to be harboring any doubts about my behavior. Or any curiosity whatsoever, really. But that's alright for now. What really matters is what lies ahead. How Sachi's static patterns of thought will evolve through observing my example. I'm starting to feel like the scene that I'm waiting for is not going to happen the way it does in the anime. My previous school, when compared to your average conventional learning institution, operated on a decidedly extreme educational philosophy. As representative of example, an instructor once showed us a plain white cup, loudly insisted that it was even greener than you fresh-faced little shits. He then spent the entire lesson ensuring none of us dared to even think otherwise. Those relatively new to the place tended to spend a good deal of time grumbling about how insane all this was. And when the time came and we were dumped out onto the field, those who survived eventually came to understand that these hazing sessions were in fact surprisingly meaningful. Point being, when you need to produce results that can't be achieved using ordinary methods, sometimes it's necessary to satisfy unfair demands. And through my steadfast dedication to this principle, I currently find myself playing the role of a devoted maid serving a capricious master.
Yuji! 冷たい飲み物はまだ?
Coming.
Coming
Examiner
too.
reclines indolently on the sofa. I carefully bring over a freshly brewed cup of tea. Since you didn't specify anything particular, I brought milk tea. Is that acceptable?
あれ? Yuji が紅茶ってちょっと意外かも。
Well, unlike Sachi, I don't have a fully stoked supply locker. I ran over and borrowed this from Chizuru's room.
それ絶対許可取ってないわよね。
No, but that's the price you have to pay for these high-quality Assam leaves. Not easy to get your hands on them lately.
私、アッサムってあまり詳しくないんだけど、飲み方はミルクティーがおすすめなの?
Even I do know that apparently Assam is a very common tea used for milk tea. Yeah, compared to something like Darjeeling, Assam tea is pretty strong both in color and taste. To mellow that out a little, people usually dilute it with milk before drinking it. It complements the flavor nicely.
へえ、ユージって紅茶も詳しいんだね。イメージ的にはコーヒー、ブラックでって感じなのに。
Coffee, black this.
Nah, she clearly said she always had him down as more of a Counter-Strike 2 type of guy. I do drink coffee more often, yeah, but black tends to upset your stomach. And if drinking something other than water, I usually try to get some sugar intake while I'm at it. As a general rule, I tend to drink my coffee heavily sweetened.
こうやって聞いてみると、実はユージもいろいろと考えてるんだね。
Compared to the fine calorie counting you're always doing, it's hardly anything worth mentioning.
でも、食事はあれだけ質素なんだから不思議よね。
Huh. Having declared my willingness to serve in Sachi's place, I've ended up waiting on Amina hand and foot all morning like some kind of personal servant. But after the way that conversation went yesterday, I guess I should be grateful she hasn't tried any seriously shady orders. Right, Amina?
Seedy orders would be more accurate.
Yeah, it's gonna involve some kind of seed.
yeah.
Alright, Amina, if you've got any other requests, go ahead and tell me now.
本当に言っちゃっていいの？
If you're gonna ask me at some point, might as well get it out of the way now instead of later.
そっかそっか。じゃあお言葉に甘えて、ユージもさっちゃんみたいにメイド服を。
Goodness, Miss Amina, you seem rather fatigued. Do allow me to give you a shoulder rub. I firmly seize Amina's shoulders as I cut off her sentence. As I cut off her sentence, digging my thumbs sharply into the muscles around her neck.
やっぱり嫌がった。
Whatever are you saying, mistress? This is nothing but an earnest expression of concern on my part.
ふーん。まあ、羊っぽいユージの対応が見れたことだし、今回はそういうことにしておいてあげよう。
Thank you very much.
それにしても、ユージ、マッサージも上手。
Amina smirks in evident satisfaction at my submissive words, but soon enough she's squirming underneath my vigorous shoulder rub. Speculating from what I've seen of Sachi's behavior, there seem to be two methods of coping with problematic requests like this one. Either attempt to interject before the words are fully out of their mouth, or deliberately fail to hear them. Of course, I don't think Sachi's consciously trying to be dishonest, but it's a fact she's managed to slip past some difficult requests using the sort of plausible deniability technique. But given the absolute nature of the laws Sachi imposed on themselves, careless words without any real malice behind them could easily lead to disaster. To live a halfway decent life under such restraints, utilizing these kinds of gray areas is probably an absolute necessity.
なあサッチ、お兄ちゃんが何でも言うことを聞くって言ったのをいいことに、暴食美人の限りを尽くすあの年上、どう思うよ。
それを言うなら傍若無人だと思うけど、ゆうくんもあまねさんも楽しそうだからいいんじゃないかな。
その目ちゃんと見えてるか？
視力は両目とも 1.5 だよ。
最近の発言を聞いてると、だんだんサッチンのことが心配になってくるのよさ。
それよりマキちゃんはゆうくんに何かをお願いしたりはしないの？
そっか、何もお兄ちゃんはあまねえだけのものじゃなかったのよさ。
ゆうくんはあまねさんだけに言ってたわけじゃないと思うし。
よし、そうと決まったら早速お兄ちゃん奪還作戦を実行するのよさ。
アイマン。
おうおう、あまねえさんよ。若いツバメを囲うで楽しむんもその辺にしときんさ
そうね。あんまり独り占めしてミチルに呪いの藁人形とか作られても困るし。
Voodoo doll. I don't have any friggin' voodoo doll. Oh. Atelier Grisaia, Forgotten Alchemist.
Yeah, the fucking Atelier, gotcha.
These strawberry bonbons are great.
From nowhere in particular, there's an outraged burst of protest followed immediately by the sound of someone scampering up the stairs. Probably safe to assume a certain nosy airhead was observing our little roleplay session with a fix-it point in the shadows.
いいじゃん。前菜の了解も取ったことだし、 次は私たちもお兄ちゃんタイムをエンジョイするのよさ。
でもマキちゃん、ゆうくんと一緒に何をするつもりなの？
おーい、サッチも一緒なら今日は勉強でもすっか。チルチルがテストで100点取った時みたいな顔されると、いくらハートの強さが売りの私でも傷つくぞ。だ
って普段あんだけ勉強嫌いって言ってる子がいきなりだもん。そりゃ驚く。
あまねえ、私はやっと気づいたのよさ。
With biblically accurate angels or with
Nah, with the like the fucking anime hentai ones.
Huh.
Consider her usual way she carries herself. 100% her imagination of angels is not the biblically accurate ones.
気づいた？
You know what? Be afraid.
Is it biblically accurate angel time?
Be afraid. These are not biblically accurate angels. These are angels that will fucking murder you via dehydration. If you catch my drift.
Hell yeah.
そう、つまらないことにいつまでもこだわっていると、どこかの誰かさんみたいに生き遅れになってしまうって。くしゅっ。
Why is she the one sneezing? Like I would expect that Amane to be the one.
ねねのことで私の噂をしてるのは。
Oh, don't worry, I can spread something else of yours if you want me to.
誰のことを言ってるのかは分かったけど、どうにもうさんくさい気がするのは私だけ。
Well, whatever these may be, trying to improve your weaknesses is an admirable thing. I'll gladly help you.
よし、お兄ちゃんゲットなのよさ。
で、本当に勉強するとしてどこでやるの？私の部屋？
もちろん、学校の教室でやるのよ。
どうして教室？
ハマネの部屋だとすぐに副交感神経が刺激されて眠くなっちゃうからな。
すごい、なんか本当にやる気だ。
マキちゃん自身が言い出したことですし、ここは本人の気が変わらないうちに実行してしまうのが得策かもしれません。
Sounds about right. Although our study session began with this relatively auspicious show of determination, it was less than an hour before the group's attention began to wander. In the end, I was forced to endure an hour-long session of strip old maid on a whim of Machinas.
結局ユージは一回も負けなかったわね。
Who ended up naked, though? Amane, probably.
Yeah.
As we make our way back to the door, Amane grumbles a few resentful words, arms folded behind her head. Any card game comes down to how well you can read your opponents. When you've got the hang of it the odds of finishing at the very bottom get pretty low.
でも、あれだけバカ勝ちされると、イカサマしてると思われても仕方がないのよ。
Incidentally, Amane, you tend to leave the card you want to get rid of right in the middle of your hand. And Machina, your expression always makes it crystal clear when you get the old maid.
あちゃー、私ってばそんなことになってたんだ。
And my old school cards were the most convenient form of entertainment by far. Couldn't help but pick up an eye for tells. Even after I started at Ichigaya, many of the regular employees I worked with on the job were major poker lovers, including a few who'd throw their car keys into the pot with perfectly composed faces.
おかげで私はたくさん脱がされてしまいました。
だな、お兄ちゃんは今自分の彼女を脱がせまくった罪悪感に打ちひしがれているはずなのよ。
Personally, I think Sachi's losing streak had more to do with the way you people kept asking her which one's the old maid at the end of the round. Of course, Sachi would answer with perfect honesty every time, so she invariably ended up stuck with the Joker in the end.
だってユージの前で脱ぎたくなかったんだもん。
Surprise.
She prances around completely naked and shoves her breasts against me at every opportunity, but she's self-conscious about this. Sometimes women are just incomprehensible.
何にせよ、お見苦しいものをお見せしてしまってすみませんでした。
No problem on that count. Might have mentioned this before, but my principle is not to refuse what's offered to me.
そういう割には 私に冷たいんだよね。
I think it's only natural to get suspicious over that kind of gratuitous service, but as a general rule, men tend to enjoy watching their girlfriends strip down to her underwear, and I'm no exception.
ありがとうございます。
そういうことなら、ユージの彼女じゃない私とマキナはここらでおいとまさせてもらいましょうか。
Before anyone can respond to Amina's sudden declaration, she grabs Makina's hand and pulls a step ahead of us.
なんか用事か？
用事ってわけじゃないんだけど、あんたに新しく覚えたおやつでも作ってあげようと思ってさ。
なんか知んねえけど、アマネーが優しい。さては給料日だな。
いや、学生は給料とかもらわないから。
お兄ちゃんみたいにバイトしてるわけじゃねえしな。
分かってるならなんで聞いた？
勢い。
そういうわけだから、いろいろわがままに付き合ってくれてありがとう、ユージ。
If I remember, I was sort of expecting you to drag me around all day, to be honest.
予定が空いたなら、さっちゃんとデートしてくればいいじゃない。
Let her drag me around.
A date?
そう、せっかく恋人同士になったんだから、デートくらいして当然でしょ。
See, Amina seems well versed in romantic maneuvering, so if she says so, maybe this is the right timing. Alright, Sachi, how about we go on a date?
はい、わかりました。
相変わらず即答だな。
さっちゃんだって女の子だもん。好きな人とデートできて嬉しくないはずがないわよね。
私はただゆうくんがしたいと言ったことにうなずくだけですから。
ふーん、なるほどね。
Watching Sachi squirm, Amina smirks suggestively to no one in particular. From that expression, I'm willing to bet she's plotting something. Better keep a careful eye on that one.
じゃあユージ、後のことは任せたからね。
Right.
サッチンもガツンと決めてくるのよ。
よくわからないけど、ありがとう、マキちゃん。
それじゃあ帰ってきたらいろいろ聞かせてよね。
With those words, Amina hurries off with Makina and And there they go.
行ってしまいましたね。
Well, I guess you may as well go on this date then.
はい、よろしくお願いします。
Sachi nods obediently, a bright smile on her face. All perfectly typical Sachi, but today that very normality troubles me slightly. Makes me wonder if there's really any feeling behind the pleased tone in her voice. That smile's completely hollow. For the time being, let's change out of our uniforms and meet up in the dorm lobby.
わかりました。
And no maid outfit. That's not true. Just watch Sachi make her way to the dorm, trying my best to reassure myself.
すみません。少し遅くなってしまいました。
No, that's maid uniform after all, huh?
メイド服はメイド服でも、これは最近購入した外出用のおしゃれ着でして、胸元の赤いリボンもこう、より色鮮やかに。
Okay, I get it. Actually, I can't see any difference whatsoever, but I suppose I'll have to take the maid expert's word on this one. Right then, as for the plan, we decided this pretty suddenly, so I have absolutely nothing.
やっぱりそうですよね。
So for today, I thought we could do whatever you feel like, Sachi.
私がやりたいことですか？
That's right, even if it's clean the dorm or bayonet drills, I'm up for it. Whatever you feel like, it's fine.
そうですね。
Sachi places a hand on her cheek, shuts her eyes, and begins to think the matter over. If nothing's coming to mind, you can say so.
すみません。私やっぱり自分から案を出すのは苦手みたいで。
Gotta think about it. You told me the same thing back when I transferred in.
はい。
When she was a kid, Sachi used to constantly invent new games and drag me into them. It's probably safe to say this is another area of her personality strongly influenced by the trauma that accident inflicted on her.
なので今日はゆうくんが普段していることを一緒にするというのはいかがでしょうか？
Like 1 hour later, Yuji is lying in like a fucking sniper's nest while Sachi's next to him acting as the spotter.
Okay, we did jizz. Manageable. What's more, she'd be completely into it.
Like Sachi's just next to him, like a very strong north wind at 3 kilometers an hour. That's not very strong, but who cares? The target has entered their car. They'll be traveling out of the town. Aim 3 paces north. 3 paces west. Shoot. My typical activities basically come down to training and reading. Might be a bit of a stretch to call that a date, don't you think?
それは大丈夫です。どんな内容でも私とゆうくんがデートだと思えばそれはもう立派なデートです。
I see. Thanks to JB and Chizuru's incessant grumbling, I had a pretty fixed image of a date as something like a dinner at an expensive restaurant with a skyline view. But Sachi's absolutely right. The important thing is what the experience means to the people involved, not whether it meets some arbitrary societal standard. Alright, in that case, why don't you tag along on my training today?
ありがとうございます。
Keep in mind, our training's no joke. This may be a date, but be sure to approach with the utmost caution.
了解したであります。
Are you ready, Ranger? Come in there!
運動用のメイド服に着替えてきたであります。
10 minutes later, Sachi holds her rifle broom in the classic shouldering position. I bellow my approval. All right, well done! Also, will respond to any further orders with an immediate. Oh, that clear?
レンジャー
Not bad! You squeal a bit better than your average stuck pig. We'll be starting off with a nice easy round of squad jobs, you know the drill?
以前インターネット上の動画で確認したことがありますです。
Oh, they say you're always prepared coming in. It seems that they're right. If you can't cut it as a ranger, you have a bright future selling cookies with the Girl Scouts. In deference to your shrewdness, I'll permit you to substitute the regulation 3.5 kilogram rifle for that broom of yours.
ありがとうございます、軍曹殿。
Alright then, you target for this drill is 30 repetitions. There, you've been clambering down schoolhouse walls with those legs. Let's see what they can do.
レンジャー 1、2、3、4
After offering her an energetic ascent, Sachi shoulders the broom behind her neck, jumps in the air from a low squat, and alternates her lead foot on the way down. Movements regularly resemble well-known Cossack dance, but the need to leap all the way up every time places a severe strain on your lower body.
15、16、17
As if to demonstrate, Sachi's movements quickly grow sluggish after her 15th repetition. What's the matter, Ranger? Coming here, even a ball-blonde twin-tailed pseudo-tsundere could struggle through that much. Is that main uniform just for show? God, moving!
Sure.
To be honest with you, it kind of reminds me of some footage I saw of some Royal Marines in training doing burpees and yelling "bastard" and number, insert number of burpee they've done. So I'll never forget the sight of somebody yelling "bastard 11, bastard 10." So funny.
I'm still not entirely, I still need to look up what the fuck a burpee is, but all I can think of is just, an exercise where you have to fucking just burp every time you do it.
Belch. It's a combination of star jump and a,
Oh,
and
it's
leg-
just,
and
like,
leg-
get
and
down
stuff.
into, the fucking... go down into, a fucking, push-up pose, do one
Yeah,
push-up,
but-
get back up, jump.
It's not push up. It's draw your legs towards you in one motion whilst keeping your hands in the same place. Then jump up in a star jump.
Okay, then these pictures are just straight up not entirely right. Oh well, who fucking cares?
It's physical fitness and it's hellish.
ちょっといい？
Turn around in response to a tap on my shoulder, only to find Amine standing behind me with an ominous glower on her face. Now, if it isn't Amine, weren't you making Markin a snack or something?
いや、それはもう終わったから様子を見に来たんだけど、もしかしてこれがデートなの？
That's right, Sachi asked if she could participate in some of my typical activities.
で、軍隊式トレーニングってわけ？
Yeah, incidentally, the constant shouting helps develop your abdominal muscles. It makes a surprisingly big difference in the results of your exercise routine, in my experience. Give it a try if you ever get anxious about your waist.
それはどうも。って私が言いたいのはもっとデートらしいデートをしてあげてもいいんじゃないってこと。
Don't follow. Please elaborate.
っていくら好きな人と一緒だからって軍隊の真似事みたいなことやらされて喜ぶ女の子がいると思う？
Probably not that many now that you mention it.
だったら普通に買い物したり映画を見たりした方が絶対いいじゃん。
I got your point, but Sachi did make the request.
それでももう少し気を利かせてあげてもいいと思うけど。
In other words, in between drills, bend down and whisper loving words in her ears. Something like that.
そうじゃなくて、ユージなら読書もよくしてるんだから図書館で読書とかでもよかったんじゃない？
True enough, that does sound like a bit more like a date.
ちなみに聞きたいんだけど、この後はどんな予定になってたの？
Well, a round trip of a one rope bridge followed by a rope climbing session probably would have finished things off with a 10-mile rifle run. Amina had kept her cool until now, but my latest response is followed by some violent trembling on her part. Something wrong? Need a bathroom break? Don't let me keep you.
ユージ、ちょっと来なさい。
Suddenly exploding with anger, Amina grabs my hand and starts yanking me fiercely along. Hold on, what are you trying to...
いいからつべこべ言わずについてくる。
Yeah, I get the message, but we can't just leave Sachi training.
ごめんさっちゃん、ユージのことを少し借りるからちょっとだけ待っててね。レンちゃん、それと返事は普通に戻していいから。はい、わかりました。くんにあまねえが切れてるのさ。マキちゃん、何食べてるの？あまねえが作った乳糖ドーナツ。たくさんあるからさっちも食べるといいのよ。
What? What? Where'd you get the breast milk from?
ありがとう。で、豆乳ドーナツだよね、これ。
で、ずいぶん落ち着いてるみたいだけど、彼氏が連れてかれちゃっても平気なのよ。
あまねさん、何か用事があるみたいだし、仕方ないよ。
そんなこと言って、あまねえの用事がお兄ちゃんを食べちゃうことだったらどうするのよ？
食べるとしたら、やっぱりもも肉とかかな。マキちゃんだったら、ゆうくんはどこが美味しいと思う？
やっぱさっちんはすげえな。
Cannibalism jokes! Very...
Sad man, I wasn't here to see that.
Yeah, very good.
The forest is coming.
Woods.
You know,
It
this is you could say that when it comes to Amine, like any kind of like talk of Amine's character isn't complete with the same kind of requirement that exists for any kind of review or overall video when it comes to Digital Devil Saga. It's just not right without at least one cannibalism or war joke. Let me guess, neither of you know what I'm talking about when I say Digital Devil Saga.
No, not really.
Digital Devil Saga is that one SMT game where they're all like in these gangs, transform into the demons themselves, and have to eat each other essentially. Like, there's even like a central mechanic for you to get more upgrade points by using various skills that all have something to do with eating the enemy.
Right.
After a rough march to the rooftop, I'm forced to sit on my heels on Amina's withering gaze of scorn.
こうして正座してもらってるのはユージに反省してもらうためだからね。
I don't understand that much, yes. You're basically saying that squat jumping is an inappropriate choice for the first date, right?
っていうか軍隊みたいな訓練全部いくらユージが変わり者だからってさすがに限度があるわよ。
Maybe you're right, but Sachi seemed to be enjoying it in a way, didn't she?
それはさっちゃんが涙が出るくらいいい子だからであって、ステーキが大好きだけど卵かけご飯も食べられますっていうのと同じ原理よ。
I see. Nice analogy. I get it now.
それにユージならもっと女の子が喜びそうなところだって連れて行けたでしょ。
Well, I was considering inviting her to a meal at first, I guess.
やっぱりね。それならなおさらあんなデートになる意味がわからないわよ。
Amina glowers down at me, her eyes narrowed in an expression of transparent vexation. Among other things, this whole date idea was her suggestion. She seems truly and earnestly upset that it didn't go well. You have a point, I might have been taking advantage of Sachi's tolerant nature on this one. Someone who understands how Sachi's mind works and why, and that's fundamentally wrong, even when it comes to something as small as this.
ここからは本当に真剣な話なんだけど、ユージはさっちゃんがこの学園にいる理由を知ったんでしょ。
As she delivers the question in a slightly lower tone of voice, Amina's eyes bore searchingly to mine. What makes you say that?
とぼけても無駄。いくらさっちゃんが幼馴染だったからって何の理由もなくユージが付き合うことにしたなんて言い出すはずないもの。
Amina declares this without so much as a moment's hesitation. There's a flat matter-of-fact certainty in her voice. In other words, this woman is absolutely confident that she understands me. Guess there's no point in pretending then.
やっぱりそうなんだ。
Yeah, I know about the incident that brought Sachi to school, and I know about the trauma at the root of it all. On the basis of that knowledge, we're going to be playing Civilization 6, apparently. Oh, hey, Guster's alive again for once.
Yeah, me gusta.
Hold on, is he like actually online on... Oh yeah, he is online. Hold on, let me just like text him like just it lives.
It's alive. Alive. Also,
What's the
it's unusual. Sorry?
Oh right, like I'm just reading. Oh right, the last character that idea that I sent him was Karim.
So it's unusual back to the story that out of all the girls, it's surprising that all of them know about Sachi's thing. Maybe they know of each other's difficulties in the past, but well, they don't really voice it so openly. But I think Sachi's is the only one openly expressed so much.
Yeah, I suppose so. And like the last character I sent Karim was like, actually, funnily enough, the character that I wrote up is essentially built to work in Sword Coast setting, but also in like literally any other really. Where essentially, like if we go by the Sword Coast setting, the man was literally alive during the Netherrealm, like back during before Karthus happened.
Okay.
Which context? Karthus, that's the one. Like essentially, in something that happens in the Netherese history at some point, like probably one of its most talented wizards ever one day decided that, you know what, I'm just going to fucking try to become a god. And so he invented the spell Karsus' Avatar, which was supposed to essentially completely erase a god from existence and replace that god with Karsus. And he made the mistake of choosing the god of magic. I think back then it wasn't Mistra. Mistra was the one that became the god of magic after the one chosen by Karsus died. But either way, he chose the god of magic at that point, which was a mistake because there was a fraction of time between the activation of Karsus' avatar and when he would become a god, where there was no longer a god of magic. And the thing is that the god of magic isn't just some god that resides over magic. The god of magic is literally the essence of the weave. And since the god just vanished, the spell failed since it could no longer draw on the weave to work, which means all the magic in the entire world just ceased operating. And this is a world where there were thousands of where they were waging a war against creatures that were actively eating the weave, and their way of fighting against them were extremely highly advanced magics, while their citizens lived in cities that were brought up into the skies by mages. So all of these cities just fucking fell from the heavens. Everyone fucking died almost, and the entire civilization just crumbled.
Collapsed, yeah.
And then, a new goddess of magic was born, and everything slowly but surely fixed itself, except now the world, the goddess of magic herself, put a restriction on magic, which disallowed the use of spells that were above the 9th level. Technically, you can still use magic above the 9th level, but it is almost retarded the kind of shit you have to pull in order to actually cast it. But yeah, essentially, the man went to the woods hunting with his son, and suddenly both of them are just fucking dead, and ages later he just wakes up without memories except that he knows, I don't remember anything, but out there is something. And that something needs to be stamped out and sent to the 9 hells right this instant. And that is literally the only thing he remembers. He does not remember his name, he does not remember his family, he doesn't remember his place of home, he doesn't remember the small farm he used to have. All he remembers is something is out there, and I do not get to rest until it is dead. Funnily, personality traits are put friendly and caring for those around him, generally somber when on his own, gets extremely rowdy when drunk. Ideal, without the night there is no rest, denying the night is denying respite. We must not shun the night, but the horrors within it and those that would use her to harm the defenseless. So essentially, his entire shtick is people are scared of the night, but they really shouldn't. Instead, they should just, murder the things that would try to murder things at night. The bond is that he literally does not remember anyone, so he literally has no bond, and bonds, and the flaw is that he just can't hold his liquor. He just cannot at all. One sip and he's fucking drunk. That and he can be a stubborn ass. I have so many fucking character ideas. Some of them serious, some of them silly. Though I don't think I've ever made like a straight up edge character. Like I've never done that. Like most of my characters, even when they have like a dark past, they still act jovial, like on the outside. Only if you were like catch them outside on their own did you probably see them act like fucking depressed as shit. But I've never like gone for like edge. Like specifically because I just don't really enjoy like the typical edge garbage. And why the fuck is there a man called Super Mario adding me on Discord?
It's a me.
Hold on. Fucking let me accept like just put the usual 3 question marks.
Classic.
Like there's like several times where people have added me and it's just like, oh sorry, wrong dude, and it's just like okay. Though people have stopped adding me in order to like ask me about art that they are willing to accept commissions for. That's the entire reason why I had to change my status to no, I don't need any kind of commissions. Specifically, no, I don't need art, so I'm not commissioning you. That's my status on Discord at this point. Just so people stop.
Well, at least there's a lot of takers once you do want art commission.
Mm-hmm. On the basis of that knowledge, I thought long and hard about what I could do for Sachi yesterday, and ultimately I decided becoming a couple would be an essential step in that process.
言ってることはわかるけど、それは本当に必要なことだったの?
Getting halfway involved isn't going to cut it. The law Sachi imposed on herself is too brittle and too dangerous for that. Counter-Strike 2.
Counter-Strike 2, hell yeah.
You all saw yourself what can happen with those shackles binding her too tightly, didn't you? Amine gently closed her eyes and holds her silence for a long moment.
じゃあ、最後に一つ聞かせてほしいんだけど、何かしてあげたいって思ったのは、ユージがさっちゃんのことを好きになったから?
When her eyes opened again, they communicated a serious warning. Don't even think about trying to dodge the question. To be completely honest, I don't really know whether I love Sachi or not, but I do know that I was drawn to her, or something she has that I don't. And I was completely serious about choosing her. I shut my eyes and honestly put my feelings into the clearest words I can. After a moment, I hear Amine sigh softly.
そっか。正直に答えてくれてありがとう。
Amine has always approached me with a straightforward affection and kindness. In retrospect, I probably should have done her the courtesy of making this equally clear from the start. Alright, might have asked you a question on my own?
いいけど、どんなこと?
What is Sachi to you, Amine?
もちろん、大切な友達に決まってるじゃない。
Once more response comes without a moment's hesitation. A friend, huh?
だって、さっちゃんはすごくいい子だし、さっちゃんがいてくれて助かったことも、楽しかったことも、たくさんあるもの。だから、私以外の誰に同じ質問をしても、絶対同じ答えが返ってくるって、私は思ってるけど。
As she says those words, there's an almost proud smile on Amine's face. Anyone who saw that expression would instantly know those words aren't mere polite flattery. Good to hear. All the more convinced now. Mumbling more to myself than Amine, I finally ease off the heels, flopping down cross-legged onto the warm concrete.
それってどういうこと?
Well, to put it simply, 7 ways to die, apparently. Right now, I think Sachi needs people like you more than anything else in the world.
I think the official release for that came out not too long ago.
What?
The official release for 7 Days to Die.
Possible.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think it's 1.0, or maybe it's not 1.0 now.
So it's finally out of the fucking alpha, is it?
Yeah, I think it finally is. It looked
like I remember people talking about playing 7 Days to Die back when I was in fucking school.
It's been out for a long time, yeah.
Well, that's alright. It's more convenient for me that way.
何よそれ。それじゃあ私が納得できないってば。
Alright then, it's nothing complicated since you called Sachi your friend, Amine. I wanted to ask you a little favor on her behalf.
頼み
That's right. If you really care about Sachi, I want you to just keep treating her exactly as you have until now.
今までと同じってそんな普通のことでいいの
I don't think anyone in this place, myself included, has had nearly enough of that sort of ordinary in their lives.
あ
I'm not trying to say it's as simple as that. What Sachi needs right now is to realize what she has. My answer purposefully bit on the opaque side. My answer is purposefully a bit on the opaque side. No exactly concrete explanation of my plans Zamine was clearly looking for. But without a single complaint, she quietly searches for the meaning of those words on her own.
分かったそうすることで私も何かを手伝えるって言うならユージの言うとでもそれはユージに言われたからとかじゃなくてさっちゃんの友達として当然のことなんだからね
Yeah, thank you, Amine.
ユージってそんなに素直にお礼が言えるんだ
You say something?
うんなんでもない
Alright.
それとさユージは気づいてないかもしれないけどさっちゃんと一緒にいる時のユージ笑ってることが多くなったよ
What?
ユージのことをずっと見てきた私が言うんだから間違いないって
Putting a hand on her hip as she speaks, Amine flashes me a smile that's just a little too spirited to be fully convincing. Amine.
じゃあユージへのお説教タイムはここらで終わりにするとして頼み事をされた私の方からもユージに一つだけお願い事
And what would that be?
私を振って別の女の子を選んだからにはさっちゃんのことちゃんと幸せにしてあげてよね
With a little wink, Amine promptly turns on her heel and leaves the rooftop. Look at me, getting the full kid gloves treatment from a woman. Amine's got a lot more delicacy than you'd guess. Well, I don't want to suggest her gender gives her some universal insight into the female mind. She's taught me a lot of things in her role as an official ambassador of young women. I smile more often when I'm with Sachi, huh? I hadn't even been aware. The reason I chose Sachi has something to do with that as well. By the way, I've already found myself indebted to my classmates' insight and kindness. Once it seems Chizuru advice might have been genuinely worth listening to. On a summer morning already hot enough to inspire full-throated chirping from the cicadas, Sachi sadly devotes herself to her self-imposed duties, dressed as always in her long-sleeved mate uniform. You're a fucking psychopath, Sachi.
ニュフニュフ
Get away from Yuji's penis, Michiru!
She's hungry. Leave her alone.
That entire section was something else again.
And I, watching over from afar, busy myself braiding the hair of a deranged cave gremlin.
誰が妖怪よ
Object all you want, but I've been hearing some distinctly goblin-esque grunting from your direction for a while now. I've never made a goblin!
Goblin.
I've never actually made a goblin in D&D.
You're going to now, aren't you?
Nah, I'm not really
He's
a
thinking
fan of
about it.
goblins.
Yeah. Not a fan of goblins, he says.
Like, more so functionally, like... If they had other features, maybe. But I like my characters to be a blend of ideas and features.
The goblins are good for
それ
stealth.
はあんたの手が気持
Well,
ちよ
here's the thing.
く
If
な
you
かった
want
か
the
ら
spell...
変な声が
if
出
you
ちゃっ
want the...
ただけ
Not
よ
spell. If you want the character that's good at stealth, you're gonna pick a rogue anyways. So at that point, there's no point in picking a goblin, really. Like, the only real point of picking a goblin is when you don't really want to play a rogue. They're emitting bizarre noises at random intervals without conscious intent. Have been tested for Tourette syndrome.
いやいや、私のはそういうんじゃないから大丈夫。
Well, if you say so.
そんなことより、いくら彼女に楽をさせるためでも、他の女の子に尽くしてばかりで大丈夫なの？
No worries on that front. We've got a date scheduled after this.
ああ、そうですか。今ここの気温が確実に1度は上昇したわね。
Michio fans herself vigorously with one hand, her face contorted into an expression I haven't seen since the time she mistook lukewarm leftover soup for barley tea and guzzled it all down. Sachi and I arranged a date in question yesterday, shortly after my little pep talk from Almane. Returning to the athletic grounds, I found Sachi still maintaining a quite respectable standby pose, nibbling from a box of soy milk donuts with market at her side. Apologizing for my lack of consideration, fully expecting Sachi's standard out-mindedly a reply, but a somewhat unusual turn of events, she instead asked, in that case, what shall we do for the rest of the date? So after a brief discussion, we decided to wipe the slate clean of our half-assed first date and give it a fresh start the next day. Alright, we're done. I give Michiru a little thump on the shoulder for seeing the completion of her twin-tail tying request.
ありがとう。
Standing up from the bench she'd been lounging on, Michiru reaches up and examines my work with her own hands.
ふんふん、なかなかやるわね、ユージ。房の太さ、左右のバランス、どれをとっても幸と遜色ないくらいよ。
Well, I have seen her do this once or twice. I had an example to go work off.
それだけで完全コピーできるあんたって何者？もう遅いから帰ってお
Sachi, don't spoil things.
眠りのなら
Well,
キスをしておやすみ
I was chatting and noticed Sachi's actually singing a relatively normal song as she works. Something of a first.
これを口ずさんでるってことは今日の幸は機嫌がいいみたいね。
Really?
そう普段はマキナが作った変な歌を歌わせられてるからこれが聴けるのは機嫌がいい時だけってわけ。
Not a fact. It might be relatively loose orders, but Makina did ask Sachi to warble her ludicrous tunes. In other words, Sachi must be attached to this song to the point where it can occasionally override her standard system of prioritization. Do you have some special affection for that song?
さあそこまでは知らないけど気になるなら直接本人に聞いてみたらいいんじゃない？
And as you say, I'm not curious, but I suppose the important thing is knowing what it means about her mood. Prying into the exact details could be counterproductive.
それと私が頼みたかった用事はもうなくなったからあとはサチとイチャイチャしてくれていいわよ。
Appreciate it to demonstrate our gratitude. I'll let you watch.
ちょっ
Hey, Sachi, have a second.
お呼びでしょうかご主人様。
Sachi trots right over when I call out her name, offering a greeting and inspires a truly spectacular grimace from Michiru. You're looking a little pale in the face there, Michiru, my friend. Just now realized that you forgot to eat breakfast.
朝ごはんならちゃんと食べたわよ。サチが作ってくれたハニートーストです。っていうかあんたサチにご主人様とか呼ばせてるわけ？
No, I don't recall forcing her to do that or giving any indication I wanted her
と
to.
なると
はい私なりに気を使ってみました。
そっかなんていうかユージも大変よね。
I'll be fine. You hang in there yourself, alright? It's always darkest before the dawn.
ありがとう。って慰めたつもりが慰められてる。
As Michiru writhes in frustrated confusion, Sachi smiles brightly and conspicuously leans her head in my direction. The gesture is a pretty blatant request for another one of those petting sessions, but unfortunately, while your intentions were good, that wasn't quite worthy of a pat on the head.
そうですか。
In typical fashion, Sachi offers no complaint or objection, despite this obviously disappointing result. Oh, But judging from the way she proactively presented herself, her attention Michiru's assessment of her mood seems to be relatively accurate. So how far have you gotten with the courtyard?
今日の範囲が終わったので、明日の分に突入しようとしていたところです。
In that case, I'd like to get going before this heat gets any worse. Before I can finish the thought, there's a distinctive sound of a certain engine drawing near. Sound that can only mean one thing.
あれ、この音って。
Guess she's here.
みたいですね。
ユージ久しぶり。
After saying goodbye to Michiru, who apparently finds encountering genuine blondes somewhat depressing, Sachi and I make our way to the front gate. JB is leaning against her flashy sports car, waving in our direction. Look, didn't I tell you to give me advance warning of your visits?
今日はたまたま仕事の用事で近くを通ったから、ちょっと顔を見ていこうと思っただけよ。
Looks like you're done. Bye.
相変わらずレディに対して冷たいわね。サチは大丈夫？ユージに冷たくされたりしてない？
はい、昨日もユウくんと2人でたくさん汗を流しました。
ユージから付き合うことになったって報告を受けてからまだ1週間も経っていないけど、もうそんなことになっているの
？Just to make things perfectly clear, Sachi is referring to training, physical exercise, that sort of hot and sweaty.
そうよね。お姉さんちょっとびっくりしちゃった。
Perform coitus in the name of the Emperor.
That's my girlfriend for you. Just full of surprises.
なるほどね。
If fighting is sure to result in victory, then he must fight Sun Tzu of 500 BC. There are cases in which the greatest daring is the greatest wisdom. Karl von Clausewitz, 1832. Wherever the opportunity for initiative presents itself to the military leader, he must seize it. Christian Freuding, 2024.
It's great.
But anyway, since
we
when
must
were you
reinforce
two
the
this
Ukrainians
friendly?
in the Kursk salient.
そう
The
そう。
Russians will
こ
never
こま
know.
で来るのも結構大変だったのよ。初めてサチに会った時なんか、ほうきを竹槍のように構えられて、せやーっつって威嚇されたんだから。
あの時はハルデラさんが不審者に見えてしまったもので、本当にすみませんでした。
もう謝らなくてもいいのよ。今はユージがお世話になってるんだし。
The smile on JB's face bears a striking resemblance to Amina's up to no good expression. When women smirk like that, my experience suggests that events are about to take a markedly irritating turn.
それでどう？覚醒の恋愛ってくらいには青春してるの？
Are you seriously asking me that? Why, you're some gossipy old lady from across the street.
ほら、私はユージの保護者なんだから、そっちの状況も把握しておくのは当然じゃない。
I already gave you what you absolutely needed to know, didn't I? See no reason to volunteer more.
じゃあいいわ。代わりにサチに聞いちゃうから。
With a great show of pouty sulkiness, JB pulls Sachi away from my side and wraps her arm around her
ねえ
shoulders.
サチ、お姉さんにこっそり教えてほしいんだけど、もうユージとはキスしたの？
Look, yo.
幼い頃に頬へのチューはしたことがあるのですが、付き合い始めてからはまだになります。
じゃあもしかしてまだ手もつないでいなかったり？
はい、他にもハグや甘噛みといった恋人らしい行為には及んでいません。
甘噛みが恋人らしいかどうかは検討の余地があるとして、まだ手もつないでないってことは相当大事にされてるわね、サチは。
そうなのでしょうか。
そうよ、ユージなんて隙を見せたらすぐにガオーって襲ってくるんだから。
もしそうだとしたら少し意外です。
Stop feeding her lies, woman.
ほら、嘘じゃないでしょ。
そうなんですか、ゆうくん。
As she speaks, Sachi stares at me with the eyes clear and bright as glass beads. All I'm going to say is this: when JB starts talking like an effeminate stage magician, you really shouldn't take anything she says too seriously.
はい、わかりました。
サチの返事はこう聞いてる方が心配になってくるくらい素直な返事ね。
Well, you could say that's one of her good points.
そうだったわね。でもサチのおかげであなたたちが清い交際をしていることは分かったわ。
Glad you understand that. Anyways, we're gonna be fucking like rabbits later tonight, so don't you dare call me for work.
Hell yeah.
So you're satisfied now, right? Better get back before the brass starts squawking.
隙があればすぐに追い返したがるんだから。
When you have an actual reason to visit, I don't think I treat you unkindly.
あさってあたりに仕事が入りそうだから予定は空けておくようにね。
If that was the point of this visit, she took her time getting around to mentioning it. Alright, send me the details when you can.
もちろん。じゃ、あんまり二人の仲を邪魔しても悪いし、私はそろそろ職場に戻るわね。
With an exaggerated wink, JB slips into the driver's seat of her prancing horse.
それからサチ、
なんでしょう。
ユージは寝相が悪いから、一緒のベッドで寝るときは気をつけた方がいいわよ。
はい、わかりました。
それじゃあ二人とも、またねー。
After teasing us one final time, JB rolls up her window and speeds off in a shrill burst of sound pollution. Okay, just to be clear, I don't toss or turn in my sleep.
確かに、ゆうくんは立ったまま寝ていそうなイメージでした。
That's a bit over the top, but anyway, do you finally stand not to take that woman at her word?
でも、ゆうくんのことを心配して顔を出してくれたんですから、誠実な人なのではないでしょうか。
Maybe she could resist the impulse to screw around like that.
なるほどです。
More importantly, about the date.
今日はゆうくんがデートのプランを考えてくれるんですよね。
Yeah, I thought we'd go walk around some stores.
買い物ですか？
Right, window shopping, as they call it.
つまり、ゆうくんは窓が欲しかったんですね。
I'll be leaving the room. God, why does rice always make me feel so bloated?
Yeah, there's a thought. For all its diminutive size, it is a very filling thing, isn't it?
Yeah, very. Yeah, I still eat like multiple servings of it, even though I know I'm gonna regret it. Pretty decent. Try that one on a veteran marine who's gotten thoroughly sick of constantly floating around in iron tubs, and you'd probably get a drunken roar of laughter.
冗談を言ったつもりはないのですが。
Right, I keep forgetting she's a natural at this. Anyway, I did take my best stab at thinking of an appropriate first date here. Is this shopping plan alright by you?
はい、ゆうくんとのお買い物デート、とても楽しみです。
Good. In that case, let's make our preparations, then meet up here in 10.
はい、わかりました。
Not even glancing at the store windows to her left and right, Sachi shuffles silently forward, completely lost in her own little world. We came straight to the shopping area around the station as planned, but Sachi's mood appears to have taken a drastic turn of some sort in the course of the last 15 minutes. As a little experiment, I try stopping quietly in my tracks, completely oblivious. Sachi continues to walk briskly down the sidewalk. Hey, Sachi!
すみません。私今ぼーっとしていました。
I don't see that. You don't see that every day. Something on your mind?
その、ゆうくんとハルデラさんのことを考えていました。
Me and JB.
はい。
Not to repeat myself, but is there some on if there's something on your mind, you can go ahead and say it.
それが私も何をゆうくんに聞きたいのかがよくわかりません。
The hell? Sachi's explanation is so amazingly unhelpful that I reflexively responded a little curtly. Sorry, can you try to go into a little more detail?
学園を出たあたりから仲良くしているゆうくんと春寺さんの映像が私の頭の中に浮かんできたのですが、そのことを考えているとマキちゃんにサッチンはインランメイドなのよさと言われた時のような気持ちになって。
I see. Based on what I can infer from the explanation, it's simple jealousy. Although that feeling is obviously the result of JB's malicious little prank, Sachi probably isn't capable of recognizing either cause or effect of what they are. Alright, I've got some advice for you on this one, Sachi.
どんなことでしょうか。
File those feelings away and make sure you don't forget them. For a moment, try to not let them bother you too much.
ゆうくんはとても難しいことを言うんですね。
It's pretty simple, actually. Just empty your head for now.
もしそうだとしたら、どうして今は忘れた方がいいんでしょう。
Because you'll be able to enjoy the date that way.
なるほど。単純明快な上になぜかものすごい説得力です。
Feeling any better?
はい。ゆうくんのおかげで喉に刺さっていた担当が取れた思いです。
Not a fact. The girl can lay the hyperballs a little thick at times, but sounds like this really was a load on her mind. In any case, it's encouraging to see Sachi starting to puzzle over things she doesn't understand.
では最初にゆうくんが欲しいものを見て回りましょう。
Something I want.
はい。私の方は特に購入を考えているものはありませんから。
The only thing that really comes to mind on the spur of the moment is books. But even there, I'm doing alright with Skaki's leftovers for the time being. Everything necessary from my job at Ichigai is provisioned to me from the company's stock of government-supplied goods. I think of anything I urgently need to get my hands on at the moment. Well, if I really stretch things a bit, there's a new scope they're making overseas that I've been wanting to try out, I guess. それは困りました。海外への渡航にはパスポートが必要になるので、申請に時間がかかってしまいます。 In other words, if the prep times wasn't an issue, this girl wouldn't hesitate to launch an international expedition as part of a casual shopping trip. As I try to come up with something else I'm interested in buying, I casually glance over at Sachi walking quietly at my side in full maid uniform. But how accustomed she is to that thing, it's downright mind-boggling that she can wear a heavy, multi-layered outfit in this heat without shedding even a drop of sweat.
ゆうくん、もしかして今俺が欲しいのは小峰幸の体だ。えへへと目で合図を送りましたか。
Sound like Waluigi. That was very good, actually.
Why, thank you. No,
He's
no,
very
you
good at
did
being a
not.
gremlin.
そうですか。
That is so. That said, she's not entirely on the basis, but it does concern her body. Alright. How about I buy some clothes to complement that body of yours?
私の服ですか？
Yeah, I had this thought earlier, but wearing a long-sleeved maid uniform in the dogged days of summer isn't really in the spirit of things.
それなら夏場用のトロピカルが。
Right, sure, I'm willing to bet it's still got long sleeves.
はい。長い野戦の間、マラリア原虫を媒介しようとする蚊から身を守るために必要不可欠な機能になりますので。
They do say a good 2/3 of troops battling over New Guinea ended up inflicting with malaria, but at present I'm fairly sure the Anopheles minimus mosquito is capable of spreading the disease can't be found anywhere in Japan other than a small region of Okinawa.
他にも亜熱帯地方では。
Okay, whatever. For now, let's take a look at that store over there. Come on.
はい。こんなに買ってもらっていいのでしょうか？
As we leave the store, Sachi poses an anxious question, glancing down at shopping bags dangling from both her hands. All well and good that I decided to buy her clothes, but even my avaricious reading habits never extended to female-oriented fashion magazines. I was largely clueless on this one. For lack of a better plan, I ended up discriminately buying everything recommended by a saleswoman who spoke something just barely qualifying as Japanese. According to JB, women can never have too many clothes.
それはみちる様もよくおっしゃっていますが、私は全くお金を払っていないので、これをいただくのはとても悪い気がします。
No need to worry about that. Fortunately, I've got a part-time job, so buying a few presents for my girlfriend isn't anything out of the ordinary.
それはそうなのですが。
Personally speaking, I consider buying you clothes money well spent. If you're saying you don't want them, feel free to use them as rags when you're cleaning. I won't hold it against you.
それは絶対にありません。雑巾にするくらいなら腹巻きにしてでも身につけます。
Then I guess there's no problem. In that case, why don't you wear those clothes every once in a while? To the degree that it doesn't interfere with the pre-existing request about your maid uniform.
それもなかなか難しい注文です。
No, it's pretty simple. Why don't you just wear them when you feel like wearing them?
私が着たいと思った時に着ればいい。
Reading my words like a parrot, Sachi closed her eyes and thought. In relation to my final objective, giving her those presents is something of a test. But it's also genuinely true that I want to see Sachi in those clothes for once. Alright, next I guess we could just wander around for a while. Take a step forward, but Sachi doesn't budge.
ゆうくん。ありがとう。ありがとう、ゆうくん。
When Sachi speaks those plain words, memory flashes before my eyes. Thank you. Apart from my family, Sachi was the one and only person in my claustrophobic little world who said those words to me on a regular basis. Okay, but let's be honest. You don't say your family. The only one that probably said that was your sister. For a fucking mother and father probably never fucking uttered the word towards you. Sachi might as well have been nothing but a simple expression of gratitude for the praise I lavished on her. But for me, every thank you offered me heartwarming relief from the feelings of inferiority and worthlessness that otherwise defined that period of my life. It was just a childish misconception on my part, a groundless self-centered delusion. But it felt as though she was telling me you're all right as you are. It's all right for you to be here. Yeah. Watching Sachi answer my curt grunt of acknowledgement with a happy smile, I realized that whatever else has changed over the years, my feeling's still the same. That warmth still rises to the surface. Even that alone, I think Sachi is a special presence in my life. Alright, Sachi, let's get going.
Hi.
Maybe we managed to find something that caught your interest as well.
はい、みちる様にぴったりなサメさんのリボンも見つかって大満足です。
Of course. We wandered aimlessly through a few other stores until we stumbled across the item in question. Surprised and Anne Sachi smiles triumphantly up at me as we leave the shop. So, what, is that thing made from shark skin?
いえ、素材の方ではなく、こうして輪を作った時にサメさんが大口を開けているように見えるデザインらしいのですが、ハート型に似た歯の形状からモチーフになっているサメさんがホウジロザメではなくイタチザメであることが判別できるあたり、匠のこだわりを感じさせます。
So, Demetria is really looking to complement the sparkly pouch of hers with the sort of realistic, sharkly, yes, with this sort of realistic nature design. She's got a fairly inconsistent fashion sense. Well, now that we've both bought something, I guess it's about time we headed back to the dome.
そうですね。
But when I changed the subject, Sachi's response is so distracted. She stood her head slightly to one side and followed her gaze to a bus stop bench where a man's lying down with his head in his girlfriend's lap.
なあ、これってやっぱ恥ずかしくねえか？
そこがいいじゃん。
There's a good bit of distance between us, so I can't hear the conversation that well. The atmosphere over there is pretty nice. All appearances, they're a couple in the height of the honeymoon phase. I had to look back. Sachi's still boring holes at the pair with her eyes. If the JB is suggestive pestering this morning, she might well have developed some curiosity about this sort of physical romantic action. Something on your mind?
いえ、少しバス停の方を眺めていただけですから。
If you say so. Judged from that oddly vague answer, it seems she doesn't want me to know she was looking at the couple in particular. Okay, let's head back.
はい、そうしましょう。
By the time we reached the campus, Sachi's got her head completely in the clouds again. This would be the second time in the last few hours, considering she's normally alert enough to come running when someone calls her name. This is definitely an unusual state of affairs.
膝枕、抱き枕に氷枕。
Ah, so that's it. Though it's actually a little worrisome that she's this transparent, this time she's clearly just gotten herself caught up in the lap pillow concept. Hey, Sachi.
はい、なんでしょう。
Want me to guess what you're thinking about right now?
それは何かの勝負のお誘いでしょうか。
No, nothing like that. I'm just pretty sure I know what's on your mind at the moment. Want to see if I'm on the money?
それが本当だとしたらすごいです。ぜひ当ててみてください。
Alright, I'll get straight to the answer. Sachi, you're currently thinking about trying out the classic lap pillow maneuver, yes? Judging from the goofy little yelp, she genuinely wasn't expecting this answer.
Almost sounded like Gura there, my word.
Can I take that to mean I'm correct?
はい。何のヒントも出していない状態での大正解に心臓のバクバクが止まりません。
Actually, I did talk to about this to someone earlier today, but like, in like just regular like online, just in the online sphere, I do I hear about like Gora every now and again. I hear about Ina every now and again. I hear about Kiara every now and again. I hear about fucking Mori every now and again. But I never hear about Ame anymore.
Amelia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I really don't hear about her anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
Don't
I don't
hear
know
about
why,
her
but
much.
she like, I'm pretty sure she's still active. I just don't
Yeah,
hear
she's
about her
still
anymore.
It has to be said though, she isn't on as much because I think she's still doing some work for Hollowfest.
Possible. But even then, I
think
probably
that was the
I
recent
should
thing.
probably still like hear at least a bit about her, but I fucking don't.
Yeah. I mean, the fan community have gone a bit nuts, but they always were nuts. But yeah, about
Yeah,
from
most
her
of them are
personally,
nuts.
yeah. But from her herself, you're right. You never really hear very much about her.
Mm-hmm.
She just in her own lane.
Yeah. Mind you, it's kind of the same story with Gura because the poor lass doesn't want to be burnt out, and I don't
Yeah.
blame her.
Fair. Also, like, as I'm looking over Twitter in my absent-minded state of like, oh yeah, I don't see anything about her here. Like, this is the first thing that jumps into my face.
Oh dear, let me guess. It's to do with.
No hints, huh?
以前にもユウくんはエスパーなのではないかと疑ったことがありますが、今回は特にすごいです。
Dagora with the swim ring. What will she do?
I just thought it was adorable.
It is, yes. Actually, in this case, I'm pretty sure anyone with a functioning set of ears could have produced the same supernatural
つま
insight.
り、ユウくんの手にかかれば、私は常に丸裸ということになってしまいます。
Considering how sordid you make the sound, you seem remarkably calm.
そんなことはありません。こう見えて心はドキドキです。
Lub-dubbed. Okay then, why don't we stop that lub-dubbing up a notch?
ドキドキドキですか？
Can't say exactly how many extra dubs we'll get, but since you're interested, I'm officially proposing we give this lap pillow thing a try. Conveniently enough, there is a settling ideal for the purpose close at hand. Point to one of the benches that dot the courtyard, sitting in the shade of a tall tree.
確かにベンチはありますが、
All these bags ended up being slightly heavier than expected, so it'd be nice to rest my arms a little as well. Of course, my arms aren't even slightly sore, but the dorm's right in front of us. No need to mention that.
そうですね。 あまり無理をさせるのは良くないですし、休憩ということでしたら。
Alright, sounds like the matter's decided. What you want to guess that either Makina or Yumiko walk in on us?
I don't know.
Pull Sachi over to the bench, then settle down on the plastic lap puller pose as previously demonstrated by the couple in town.
本当に膝枕をするのでしょう
Slithering
か。
idiot.
Yeah, ignorant as I may be about these matters, I do know the basic theory behind the lap and leave the rest to me. Alright. Success. I don't think that's the way she wanted it. Like,
Also, the hands look strangely drawn.
I mean, they always look strangely drawn, let's be honest with ourselves.
Yeah, true.
Like, they're not a Toto hands, but they still look strange. I don't think there's any VN out there that can top fucking Nora Toto hands. Fucking big, meaty claws. Such face stares up from my lap and frozen with all the meek anxiety of a terrified kitten. Well, what are your impressions now that you're experiencing the real deal?
ゆうくんの膝は硬すぎず、それでいて柔らかすぎず、まさに絶妙の枕加減なのですが、ごく一般的な膝枕というのは、女性の方が男性の頭を膝の上に乗せるものなのではないでしょうか。
I can go both ways. As you mentioned it, the man was the one laying down at the bus stop, wasn't
な
he?
ので、この膝枕はどちらかというと、少し特殊な部類に入ると思われます。
Then even consider which one of us should be the pillow and which the pillowed. Well, if you want to take the opposite role, we can switch.
そうですね。せっかくのお言葉なのですが、それはやめておきます。
You sure about
よ
that?
く考えたら、ゆうくんが枕役をやるというのもこれっきりかもしれないですから。
See, I guess you could look at that way.
はい。
The moment Sachi offers that brave response, a gentle gust of wind rolls through the shaded courtyard. Lingering breeze, not so strong to be irritating, but enough to bring a pleasant cool.
風が気持ちいいですね。
That it does?
セミさんも鳴き始めました。
Yeah.
ゆうくんの顔がすぐそばにあります。
If it was behind your ears, we'd have a problem.
そうですね。
Puts her feelings into words as they come to her, offer brief, meaningless responses.
Almonds, you blithering idiot.
Hammond, you blithering idiot!
Ahmad! I'm going to kill you!
Almonds, you bellend.
I actually need to watch like all of Top Gear at some point.
I've got the DVDs for the specials they did, it's great.
Hell
Although it's
yeah.
pity they had to change the music for copyright reasons, but still.
That's boring. Hey,
Welcome to
Sachi.
bottom gear.
Enjoy the day. You enjoyed the day
は
today?
い、とても楽しかったです。
No
も
hesitation.
ちろん即答です。だって実際に楽しかったですから。
You know, we just wandered around by the
は
station.
い。ゆうくんと一緒にたくさんお店を回れた上に、可愛い服まで買っていただきました。
Well, I'm glad you had fun, but only are easy to please, aren't
実
you?
際のところはそうでもないかもしれませんよ。
Oh,
だって
elaborate.
今はこうして彼氏さんに枕役をやらせているんですから。
So you are. True enough, if someone saw this little scene out of context, they'd probably get the impression that Sachi's wearing the pants in this relationship. Well, since you've had that rare opportunity handed to you, how about you relax and savor it for a while?
ありがとうございます。
As you speak, Sachi lets the tension drain out of her body, and I feel a little more weight settle in my lap. It's almost like the physical manifestation of her absolute trust. She holds many burdens on the job, but none were quite this relaxing to bear. You feel like this? If you feel like it, you can go ahead and take a nap.
それはとても魅力的な提案なのですが、ドキドキして眠れそうにありません。
My favorite is still fucking Yamfa's bottom gear. In that case, just close your eyes and take it easy. Parallel alone is about 80% as effective as actual sleep.
そんなことまで知ってるなんて、ゆうくんは本当にすごいです。
Look, I'm sure I've told you this before. The people who really deserve praise are the scientists who ran the studies, not the guy who read about them in the book.
それでも、その内容を覚えていたのはゆうくんです。
Well, you aren't going to budge on this, are you?
はい、どうしてもそうなります。
She seems to be very pleased about it for some reason. This habit of overestimating me to the point of veneration as part of Sachi doesn't seem to be changing. Walking down the streets, chatting with your romantic interest, going shopping together, brushing against their warmth, and ultimately offering them your lap as a pillow, putting aside the moment whether it's supposed to be the other way around. For the moment whether it's supposed to be the other way around. I remember seeing this sort of innocent flirting between couples in manga and television shows as a kid. I hadn't imagined the day would come when I'd actually be experiencing something of the sort. And in fact, almost certainly never would have thought if it wasn't for Sachi. I was able to experience this tranquil feeling because of her. Because I met her as a kid, because we were reunited here, because she agreed to date me. Whoops. This unlikely moment came to pass. Thanks, Sachi. Almond!
Almond!
When words spill naturally from my mouth, I'm answered by nothing but the sound of a carefree woman sawing logs. Thought you weren't sleepy, punk. Let them take long considering. And then again, seeing Sachi like this, the way her lively excitement gave way to this abrupt nap, it's a keen, almost painful reminder of her tomboyish, unpredictable girl, of the tomboyish, unpredictable girl she used to be.
ここにいるのは風見くんよね。
I knew it. One of them was going to walk in on this. When I raised my head in response to this tentative inquiry, I see Skaki standing in the shade nearby, a paperbook bag in hand. Hey, this Skaki back from sharing complaints regarding our profane world to a local crow.
人を魔女のように言わないでもらえるかしら。
Sorry, just a little joke.
機嫌がいいのは結構だけれど、そこで寝ているのは小峰さんよね。
Yeah, momentum from the shopping date ended up carrying us in a slightly way direction. Decided to try out the lap pillow thing.
それは見ればわかるけど、これはとても珍しい光景ね。
As soon as the words are out of Sakaki's mouth, she's leaning quietly forward, peering down at us with an expression of evident curiosity. Yes, the man being the pillow is pretty unusual after all, huh?
いや、そういう意味ではなくて、私は小峰さんが眠っているってことに驚いているのよ。
What's that supposed to mean?
私はこれまでに小峰さんが居眠りをしているところを見たことがなかったから。
Another unbroken streak of hers, is it?
ええ。と言っても、もちろん夜になれば自室のベッドで休んでいるのは知っているけれど、
Not very unbroken anymore.
こうしてうたた寝をしている小峰さんを見るのは初めてね。
That fact.
ええ。だから意外だったのよ。
Makes sense. Yet another sign of how strictly Sachi governs her own behavior.
それにしても気持ちよさそうな寝顔をしているわね。
Well, we did spend a good while wandering around the stores this afternoon. She was probably a little tired.
それくらいでは小峰さんは居眠りしないと思うわよ。
And what did?
よほどあなたの膝の上が気持ちよかったんでしょうね。
Skaki smiles gently at her own joke. Fairly uncommon, both the smile and the fact she made a joke in the first place. Are you interested? How about giving it a try yourself? Then I offer a little teasing as payback. Skaki's face instantly goes red. Of course, you'll have to get Sachi's permission first, but...
それは
絶対にダメです。
At a sudden angry shout from my lap, Skaki scrambles a few feet backwards, completely flustered.
もしかして起きていたの？
I wonder.
マグロマンはビームを使わずに背の身を削るところがかっこいいんですから。
Again, I had tuna last week for the first time. Like the raw of the meat of the raw tuna did have a very Very beautiful rainbow reflection going on. Nah, she's pretty clearly not.
今のは寝言
Yeah, seems that way.
そうやっぱり小峰さんには底知れない恐ろしさがあるわね
You're reading way too much into this.
周防さんや松島さんも出かけているみたいだし邪魔者はこれで消えるわね
Although, why do you missing a crucial third person, Yumiko, here? Then again, I feel like Machina is like somehow one of the more sensible people that will probably see them like this and say, you know what, I'm not gonna bother them. It's always odd, you know? Like, you don't expect Machina to be sensible.
Surprise?
With those parting words, delivered in an uncharacteristically tranquil tone, Skaki turns away and quietly makes her way back to the dome. Committed to while away my time as a human pillow for the moment. But 2 days from now, another Chigaya job is waiting for me. That was the way of life I chose, and I don't plan on trying to back out this late in the game. But surely no one could hold it against me if I enjoyed this feeling a little longer. At least until she wakes up. Walls have ears. Shoji have eyes. It's a long-standing proverb in this country. And in modern times, when minuscule spy cameras can be mounted on mosquitoes, it's truer than ever. Since such electronic bugs are significantly more credible and accurate than an ear against the door, you could say the advances of science have only worsened the ancient problem of information security. And it seems even this isolated community known as Mihama Academy is no exception to the general trend. Let down your guard for even a moment, you'll suffer the consequences.
さっちゃんと付き合うって聞いただけでも驚いたのに、まさか膝枕とはね。
膝枕って言うと最近買ったマグロマンの DVD についてきたあれのこと？
それは抱き枕。しかもあんたの言ってるのはカバーの方だから。
Amina heaves a small sigh, barely audible over the churning of the washing machine at her side. As it has so happened, our little courtyard interlude yesterday was recorded by a camera Machina had set up in the courtyard as part of a surveillance mission targeting Michiru, rendering Sakaki's considered discretion sadly meaningless. But this morning, the Lapidou incident was common knowledge throughout the dorm and beyond. Anyway, Sakaki, decided on your request yet?
改まって聞かれるとすぐには
Since I've now spent a day in servitude to both Amina and Michiru, the pair of them magnanimously decided that today would be Sakaki's turn. But if a genie popped up and told the girl, "You have 30 seconds to ask me for anything you desire," I'm pretty sure she'd till the time away and ended up empty-handed. Still on standby at the moment.
ユージが何でも言うことを聞くって言った時はマッサージとか言ってなかったっけ？
あの時はちょうど肩が凝っていたからそんなことも言ったけれど今
おかしいな。私の調べでは昨日も夜の2時までパソコンを触ってたはずなのに。
あなたはどうしてそんなことまで知っているのよ。
さあ、どうしてでしょうね。
Has someone been using Sachi for late-night spying operations again? Well, I don't mind waiting for directions, but if you aren't gonna ask for some, feels a little pointless to be for me to be here. If you really can't think of anything, I'll get back to my own business.
それは
ほらほら、ユージもこう言ってることだし、何でもいいから言っちゃいなさいよ。
さあ
わかったわよ。それなら洗濯でいいわ。
Oh, he's gonna pull out her fucking bra and it's gonna cause chaos, isn't it? That all?
ええ、ちょうどランドリーにいるし、洗濯物は私が持ってくるから。
Hamster. Yumiko and her hamster. Alright, these washing machines make it easy to press of the buttons, so there's no problem on my end.
それならよかったわ。
Oh yeah, our washing machine is currently broken. The people came to fix it last Friday, And after they were done, they were like walked up to me like, all right, so we can't fix it. Like if there was like something stuck between like the ventilation and the drum, then we could probably pull it out. But it's like literally between the drum and the back wall, so we'd have to actively take out the drum, which that's just going to be more costly than just buying a new one. Let me just ask, just be clear, careful here. Are there, let's just say, a lady's clothes being washed in this? Well, yeah, I have a mother and a little sister. Oh yeah, okay, and it's most likely the fucking wiring of a bra just stuck back there. There was a bra my mother complained recently where the wiring was coming out. It's probably that. Oh yeah, that's probably that. Anyways, bye. Mainly because, like, mainly they just left because, like, I didn't know it was okay for them to just take the goddamn washing machine with them because I was home alone at the time. So, like, I was just like, okay, I will, like, call you back if we're on whether we're buying a new one or having this one repaired because I don't have a fucking say in this. Anyways. Arriving on the scene with an overflowing laundry basket in hand, in her hands, Michiru peeks over the mountain of dirty clothes with an expression of clear surprise.
なんでこんなところにみんなが揃ってるのよ。はまさかあんたたち、私の誕生日を内緒で祝う計画を立ててたんじゃないでしょうね。そんなことされたって、私は全然嬉しくなんかないんだからね。あれ？私、何か変なこと言った？
そうですね。変なことというよりは、全くの見当外れと言いますか。
Well, that's life. Hang in there, kid.
また励まされた。
Deflating like a punctured inner tube, Michiru trudged sullenly on towards the washing machine.
でもいいの？榊さん。
何の話？
ユージに洗濯を任せちゃって。
本人も洗濯ならできると言っていたわよ。
そうじゃなくて、ユージ、男の子だよ。
間違いなく女の子には見えないけれど、それがどうかした？
下着とか見られたり触られたりしちゃうと思うんだけど。
風見くん、やっぱりさっきの用事はなかったことにして。
Okay, you're the client, so that's fine by me.
代わりの用事はちゃんと考えておくから。
As soon as the words are out of her mouth, Sakaki hurries out of the laundry room and descends the stairs on a trot. Seems strangely flustered. Oh, damn, she's still hanging on to a pair of lucky teddy bear panties.
そこまでは知らないけど、どんな下着でも意図せず見られて嬉しいものじゃないわよね、普通は。
Come to think of it, there was a time when I thoughtfully washed a pile of JB's dirty laundry without being asked. And although the woman usually walks around with her underwear half exposed, the reaction was an angry snarl to the effect of, I'll do it myself.
そろそろ本題に戻りたいんだけど。
Seems pretty consistent with ominous theory.
さっちゃんとはどこまで行ったわけ？
Not far, just down the station. Why?
こういうのはユージよりさっちゃんに聞いた方が早そうね。
Heard the same thing from JB yesterday. It seems I'm not particularly well equipped to this sort of conversation.
というわけで、どうなの？さっちゃん。
どこまでというのは恋愛の進行状況を聞かれていると思うのですが、恋人らしい行為というのは膝枕くらいだったと思います。
本当に？合間にキスとかしてないの？
はい、していません。
じゃあ、当然エッチもまだってわけよね。
Look, woman.
エッチといえば、金属加工の際に用いられたりする技術、エッチングのことでしょうか。
いや、私はそっちの方を知らなかったけど、こう、男女の営み的な？
男女の営みというと、性交、いわゆるセックスのことですね。
サッチン容赦ね。アマニーが珍しく投げてくれた変化球を 高速球で返してきたのよさ。
でもあまねさんが言っているのはセックスのことですよね。
まあそうなんだけどさ。
じゃああまねさんは私とゆうくんがセックスしたかを聞きたかったんですね。
いや、なんていうか。
それともここはあえて交尾と言い換えた方がいいでしょうか。
Perform coitus in the name of the Emperor.
ごめん、私が悪かった。
Not bad, Sachi. Making Amane of all people bashful is a considerable achievement.
でもさっ
Not
ちゃん、
really.
今のうちに覚悟だけはしておいた方がいいわよ。
Like, yeah, she's one of the horniest, but she's also, like, surprisingly easy to fluster.
Mm-hmm.
覚
Just coming to watch
悟
also.
ですか？
そう、膝枕なんかしちゃったら次はすぐエッチすることになっちゃうんだから。
つまり私はもうすぐ喪失する、そういうことですね。
もうだからなんでわざわざ言い換えるのよ、この子は。
ハマ姉が切れたのよさ。
I don't think I've seen her push this far before.
まあさっちゃんって我慢強そうだし、そういうのは案外平気そうだけど。
はい、痛みに耐えるシミュレーションなら何度か。
ああ、そうなんだ。まあ私は一応アドバイスしたからね。
はい、ありがとうございます、あまねさん。
It's definitely not a bad thing that our classmates care enough to express their concern, but given Sachi's tendency to interpret advice in oddly distorted ways, I'm a little worried that his well-intentioned words may create more problems than they solve. Looks about right. Trembling the cool air is once again flowing from the vent, I carefully climbed down off the stepladder. After anguishing at great length about her requests, Kakian ended up mumbling complaint for the air conditioning. The hallway hasn't been working too well lately, sending me off on a chore largely irrelevant to her own interests. So, after borrowing some basic tools from a closet, I performed some simple maintenance on the overhead AC unit, cleaning out the ducts and replacing the machine's filter. Even as she holds the ladder steady, Sachi's gazing up at me with something like wonder in her eyes. What? Okay, what's on your mind this time?
いえ、ゆうくんは庭園管理士の資格だけでなく電気工事士の資格まで持っていたんですね。
Not qualified or certified in either of those fields, actually.
でもエアコンはちゃんと動いています。
Yeah, when AC units break down 9 times out of 10, it's because dust and grime has accumulated inside the machine over the years. Even without any specialized technical knowledge, it's possible to perform some basic repairs. In the first place, the title of electrician means you're licensed to wire buildings and such. That's a completely different can of worms.
だとしたらゆうくんはすごいです。もし私が頼まれていたら業者さんに修理を依頼するしかありませんでしたから。
Well, I personally went this route because I know a little about air conditioners, but if you're looking for the most reliable method of ensuring the rest of the field, your judgment is probably the better one.
そうでしょうか。
The hands-on approach is only feasible when you happen to know how to solve a specific problem, after all.
それなら私ももっと勉強した方がいいかもしれませんね。
Maybe so, I'm not telling you to glue yourself to your desk even more than you already do, but it can't help to expand your breadth of knowledge.
なるほどです。ところでゆうくん、
Yeah?
ゆうくんは私とセックスしたくなったりしないんでしょうか。
That didn't take long. Look, Sachi, that's just like the thing with JB yesterday. Why are you so worried about what other people say about us?
ですが某所の調べでは私たちくらいの年代の実に 43% がすでに性交渉を済ませているというデータも出ています。
Don't worry, he's probably already in those 43. I'm guessing those statistics came from another magazine you found in the convenience store rack.
なぜか見破られてしまいました。
Just a little statistical analysis of my own. My data indicates 99% of your data is that sort of crap.
もちろんゆうくんの頭の中でいくら私が凌辱されても構わないのですが、 普通の恋人同士がすることなら、私たちもしてみた方がいいのではないかと思いまして。
Does that mean you want to try having sex, Sachi?
いえ、あくまでもゆうくんがしたいとおっしゃられるのであればです。
So even when it comes to something that's serious, she relinquishes any role in the actual decision. Let me ask you something first. Would you really be alright having me as your first partner?
むしろ相手がゆうくんなら嬉しいくらいです。
You serious about that?
はい、小峰幸、いつでも本気です。
Is that supposed to be your brand slogan?
すみません、出過ぎたことを言ってしまったでしょうか。
Nah, I wouldn't say that, but there's no doubt in my mind that Sachi's proposing just because of her belief that a good girl hews closely to the conventional way of doing things. In other words, her own will played virtually no role in this proposal. Of course, I'm not suggesting that adapting to this out of the mainstream is a bad thing, and I'm sure has hell not planning to play some sort of holy martyr or abstains from physical relationships. But right now, Sachi's still missing an important part of herself. For that reason, I've started this relationship off on a distinctly platonic note. Now that Sachi herself is approaching me, the question is whether or not I should allow things to move beyond that stage. Ordinarily, the answer would be a flat no, but precisely because Sachi's wrapped herself inside this shell and to introduce changes to her life. His offer represents a clear opportunity on that front. But that said, might have double-checked this one last time.
はい、どうぞ。
You don't find the idea of doing this with me unpleasant?
はい、嫌だとも思いませんし、相手がゆうくんなら安心できます。
I see. There's no guarantee the feelings Sachi expresses to me are real. If Sachi's convinced herself that a good girl loves her boyfriend, she might very well override her own emotions to bring herself into alignment with that image. True, I'll never get anywhere if I get too caught up in this kind of doubt, but this is a serious enough step to warrant some caution. At the very least, I think Sachi's sincere in saying she doesn't find the idea outright unpleasant. In other words, we met the absolute minimum condition for me to put my hands on her. Alright, since you're obviously up for it, Sachi, let's move this relationship to the next step.
はい、よろしくお願いします。お待たせしました。
You know what, this scene is not going to take too long, most likely. But there might be a CG. No, what, fuck it. About 20 minutes after we headed to my room, Sachi emerges from the bathroom, her shower finally complete. Her mere presence fills the room with the fresh smell of soap. It's the kind of thing that gets a man's blood flowing.
ゆうくんに言われた通り、体をきれいにしてきました。
Took your time in there. Sure did a thorough job, though. I'd end up having some places you've never gotten a good look at yourself inspected.
はい、髪の毛から足の指先までバッチリきれいにしてきました。
Glad you're still wearing the maid uniform, I see.
はい、男の人はエッチの際に服を脱がせる行為にも興奮すると聞いたことがあるので、気を利かせてみました。
Ah. They do say girls tend to collect lots of dubious second-hand knowledge about this sort of thing. It's probably be best not to bother asking her source for this information.
それで、この後はどうしたらいいでしょうか。
Her face betraying a hint of nervousness, Sachi looks up into my eyes. I'd like to believe that slight pink flush in her cheeks is just a lingering effect of a shower. Let's see, according to standard theory, we begin with whispering loving words and embracing each other, but today we're going to omit that step.
それは昨今の不景気が原因なのでしょうか。
Nah, it's just that fast, cheap, and satisfying is my personal motto.
なるほど。ゆうくんは牛丼屋さんのようなキャッチコピーを売りにしているんですね。
Naturally, this motto is a load of crap, but I want to put the kisses and affectionate words on hold until Sachi's managed to regain a normal emotional state. Might think it a little hypocritical of me to be so conscientious on that point when we're about to do something more extreme, but I have my own way of thinking about things that bind people together. And the way I see it, some things matter more than physical intimacy. And then they fucked!
Well, sort of.
Close enough.
I'm gazing at the scenery outside my window when Sachi walks to my side, evidently finished with her second shower of the day.
今日は本当にすみませんでした。
Okay, let's be honest with us. What happened here, Eagle?
As I recall, it was an attempt, but it ended up just being. I forget the details now, but I think it was an attempt, but it kind of fell a bit flat at the final hurdle. Kind of like the misfired first attempted H scene in Riddle Joker for Ayase's Route.
So tightness issues.
I think that was part of it on Sachi's part, but I forget the details. Dang it.
私に経験がないばかりに気を使わせてしまって。
That should be sufficient hint.
You got nothing to apologize for. Getting impatient and rushing ahead really ends well, especially with this sort of thing. It doesn't seem quite enough to convince Sachi this time. She looks up at me, her big round eyes tinged with uncertainty. Don't worry about it, Sachi. Just take it easy for the day, alright?
はい、わかりました。
I gave Sachi a quick pat on the head and offer a few reassuring words. Without any further objections, she nods and leaves my room. This girl's got sharp instincts, not easy to lie to her. Sachi seems to have vaguely sensed my real reason for stopping halfway through was something else entirely. Truth is, the idea of going all the way like that just felt wrong. It's not entirely clear to me why my conscience suddenly kicked into overdrive, but when I touched her intimately for the first time, something about my way of thinking changed. I'll have to wrap it up with that for now. Yes, that hesitation may have ended up giving her something else to be anxious about, not really what I was trying to accomplish here. But today, some part of me thought this girl deserves to be treasured. I don't think I was wrong.
それじゃあしばらくユージを借りていくわね。
JB's arrived in typically JB's arrived in typically flashy fashion to pick me up for the previously scheduled job. Judging from the way she's currently draping her arms around my neck, I'm going to guess the personal escort is mainly an excuse to tease Sachi.
はい、よろしくお願いします。
その間サチには寂しい思いをさせちゃうかもしれないけど我慢してね。
私のことは心配いりませんので、ゆうくんのことをお願いしますね。
あら、自分のことをからかってくる相手にそんなことが言えるなんて、サチもなかなかやるわね。
ありがとうございます。
More importantly, anything you want to ask before I head out?
はいはーい。行ってきますのチューはしないんですか？
Shut up for a minute, woman. I shake free of JB's clingy embrace and cut the flow of crap short with a hand over her mouth.
では、今日のお仕事が終わるのは何時くらいの予定になるのでしょうか？
そうね。
When I silently look in JB's direction, she brings a hand to her chin and thinks the matter over for a moment.
状況に応じて変わってくると思うけど、多分夜遅くになっちゃうのは間違いないわね。
So she says.
ということは、寮には戻ってくるということですよね。
Yeah, no plans to stay overnight. I'll definitely be coming back.
それは約束でしょうか？
As she speaks, Sachi looks at me with a gravely serious expression. Yeah, I suppose it is.
わかりました。それなら私はここでゆうくんのお帰りをお待ちしています。
Just be perfectly clear, that doesn't mean I want you to stand at this on this exact spot the entire time, alright?
ゆうくんは失礼です。いくら私でもそこまでバカじゃありません。
Girl must remind you of the fucking accident that landed you in the hospital. Sorry, but you've kind of got a track record.
大丈夫です。普段通りの予定をこなしながらお帰りをお待ちしています。
Good, in that case, not a problem.
それじゃあお見送りありがとう、サチ。
はい、JB さんもお気をつけて。
As Sachi bows politely, JB and I lower ourselves into the car and draw the doors shut.
もしかしたらあの子、ユージの仕事が普通じゃないって感づいているんじゃない？
Even if she does, I don't think she's likely to bring them
で
up.
しょうね。それに本当にいい子だわ。まるで主人の帰りを待つ軍用犬みたい。
Military dog. She's certainly a creature of habit. Slightly obsessive German shepherd,
で
maybe.
もいいの？必ず帰るだなんて約束して。いつもは嘘でもそんなこと言わないのに。
I know, wasn't planning to say anything of the sort, but she started staring into my eyes and I just got it. Couldn't help myself. What, May?
どっちもよ。
If you say so. Look, about you... how about you put making fun of us on hold for the moment and pay a little more attention to the damn road?
はーい。
I've been a little worried Sachi might get caught up on might get caught up on the way things ended yesterday, but you didn't seem any different this morning. Maybe that pout on the head of actually the
現場
trick.
に着いたら起こしてあげるから、ユージも少し眠っておきなさい。
Yeah, sounds like a plan. Obediently retrieving a sleep mask out of the dashboard, I slip it over my eyes and lean back on the soft leather seat. Within moments, I'm falling into a light sleep.
小峰さんがため息なんて珍しいわね。
榊さん。
それにどこかぼーっとしていたみたいだけど。
やはりそう見えてしまいましたか。
ええ、なんとなくだけれど。違った？
いえ、榊さんの言う通りです。少し考え事をしていましたから。
もし何か悩みがあるなら、私でよければ相談に乗るわよ。
榊さん、いくらカップ焼きそばが好きでも床にこぼしたものまで口にするのは体によくありませんよ。
それは私がらしくない行動をとっていると言いたいのかしら。
違いましたか？
確かにその通りだけれど、相談相手が周防さんや松島さんでは偏ったアドバイスになってしまうような気がして。
はい、榊さんの言いたいことはなんとなくわかる気がします。
だからよ。
ではこの小峰幸、折り入って榊さんに相談させていただきたいことがあります。
ということはやっぱり風見くんと何かあったのね。
あったと言いますか、あるべきものがなかったと言いますか。
どうやら複雑な話みたいね。それならひとまず場所を移しましょう。ここではいつ他の人間が通るかわからないから。
はい、わかりました。
ここなら気兼ねなく話ができそうね。
それはその通りだと思うのですが、なぜ教室なのでしょうか。
Why is Chizuru spying?
イリスさんがいる限り寮内で安全なところはないわ。
なるほど、とても説得力のあるお言葉です。
で、一体何があったのかしら。
はい、実は昨日めでたくゆうくんとセックスする運びになったのですが。榊さんは少し大げさに驚きすぎです。
だって一昨日まではキスもしていなかったのに、いきなりそのセックスでなんて誰でも驚くわよ。
ですが問題はそこではないんです。というと、実はセックスをすると決めたところまでは良かったのですが、セックスの前には準備が必要ですよね。
ええ、女性にはいろいろと必要だものね。
その通りです。そして私はゆうくんの手によって快楽の頂点を迎えたわけなのですが。
ということは小峰さん。
はい、体が宙に浮く、もしくは意識がなくなってしまうような、そんな体験でした。
そう、意識がね。
榊さん、今自分に置き換えて想像しましたね。
でも少しだけ、ほんの少しだけ映像が浮かんだだけよ。
そんなことまで答えてくれるなんて、榊さんはいい人ですね。
そんなことはどうでもいいのよ。でも小峰さんの悩みがそういうことに関係しているなら、相談先は周防さんの方が良かったかもしれないわね。
私は
榊さんで間違いなかったと思いますよ。
そう？普通に考えたらスオさんの方がそういう知識を持っていそうじゃないかしら。
いえ、豊富そうに振る舞ってはいても、天音さんが私たちと同じで男性経験がないことに変わりはないですし、榊さんが日頃インターネットで巡回しているサイトを鑑みれば、そういう知識を持っているのはむしろ榊さんの方だと私は認識。
どうやってインターネットの巡回先なんて。
ログイン時のパスワード6桁くらいならかかっていないのと同じですから。お分かりいただけましたか？
ええ、小峰さんとは少し付き合い方を考えた方が良さそうだということがね。
では話の本題についてなのですが、
続けて。
いつも思うのだけど、この時間のテレビはつまんない番組ばかりなのよさ。って言っても、あんたやさっちゃんが喜ぶような番組ってアナーキーなのばっかりだしね。失礼な。マグロマンもデイブ教授もそこら辺の番組とは一味も二味も違う見応えを毎週お届けしてくれているのよ。あれ、さっちゃん制服なんか着ちゃってどうしたの？
ええ、少し二人で勉強していたのよ。
Oh lord!
No, before you ask, not that kind of studying.
And well, yeah, I'm not saying that that's sex. I'm just saying they probably like watched porn together or something.
It would have been more interesting if they did.
わ
Sorry.
ざわざ教室まで行って？
はい、そのおかげでとても集中することができました。
そうね。
その割には二人とも目が遠くを見つめてる感じになっちゃってるけど大丈夫？
気にしないで。しばらく休めば治るわ。
はい、メイド服とガーターベルトの関係性についてはバッチリです。
ガーターベルト？わかった！勉強と見せかけて、実は二人でエッチなサイトを閲覧していたのよさ。
そうかもしれないわね。
あのユミちゃんが私のからかいを軽く受け流すなんて、まさかこの短期間の間に悟りを？だったらすごいけどね。それにしても遅いのよ。遅くなるって言ってもいつもその日のうちに帰ってきてたしね。まさかあの金髪女と変なことでもしてるんじゃないでしょうね。こらみちる、ここには彼女もいるんだから嘘でもそういうこと言わない。ああ、そっか、ごめんサチ。
それよりよく冷えた麦茶をどうぞ。
ってその彼女が一番平気そうな顔してるんだけど。確かにサッチンはお兄ちゃんのことが心配じゃないの？
だって出かけるときに今日は遅くなるって JB さんが言ってたから。
そうだとしてもこの時間よ。雨も降ってきたし、この前さっちゃんが行方不明になったこともあるから余計にね。
すみません、その説は皆さんに多大なご迷惑をおかけしてしまって。
もう謝らなくてもいいってば。別にさっちゃんのことを責めてるわけじゃないから。そうそう、つまりそれだけユージのことを心配してるってこと。
皆さんのお気持ちもわかりますが、ゆうくんは絶対に帰ってきてくれますから大丈夫です。
どうしてそう思うの？
ゆうくんは約束を破ったことが一度もありませんから。
一度も？
はい、それは私が皆さんにご迷惑をおかけした時も同じで、ちゃんと私のことを迎えに来てくれました。そして今日もゆうくんは必ず帰ってくると私ですから、私は何も心配していません。
あれ、今のサチちょっとかっこいい？なんか
年長さんのくせにバタバタしてた自分が恥ずかしくなってきたかも。
Suddenly, like, a fucking call comes in, like, fucking some, like, whoever answers, just like, yes, hello. And on the other side, it's just, they just hear Yuji. Hospital!
きっとこれが恋する乙女の強さってやつなのよさ。
ユージ、寮に着いたわよ。
Okay, thanks. Opening my eyes at the sound of JB's voice, I reached down to the unfastened seatbelt strapped
ご
across
めん
my
なさい
body.
ね。遅くなりそうなのは分かってたけど、日付までまたぐことになっちゃって。
Not like you have anything to apologize for. It is hardly the first time I've spent an entire day on
でも
standby.
サチに悪いことしちゃった気がして。
Sachi,
だから
right.
明日はサチをデートにでも誘って埋め合わせしておいてね。ほ
Date.
ら、今は夏なんだし、海なんかに連れて行ってあげたらきっと喜ぶと思うわよ。
I think that something like that might be called for right about now. The first date was a pretty casual, low-effort affair
そ
after
の
all.
顔は可能性ありって感じね。
We'll see what happens.
それじゃあ今日はお疲れ様。
Right, thanks for the ride.
おかえりなさい、ゆうくん。
I'm watching JB's car screech off in the distance. Sachi calls out to me from beside the school gate. Sachi, please don't tell me you've been out here all night.
いえ、そろそろゆうくんが帰ってくるような気がしたので、少し前からです。
A little while, huh? Don't know exactly what a little while is for Sachi, but her hair is visibly damp and it hasn't been raining for some time. Anyway, thanks for coming to meet me.
はい、ゆうくんの方こそお仕事お疲れ様でした。
Instead of speaking my thoughts, I drop a hand onto Sachi's head and ruffle her hair. Soon enough, I receive a small, satisfied smile in return.
それからお食事はもうお済みでしょうか？
No, haven't eaten yet.
でしたら私の方でご用意させていただいていたものがありますので、そちらをすぐに準備させていただきます。
Alright, that'll definitely be a help this timer.
それから皆さんにはお話を通しておきましたので、大浴場もいつでも入浴することができますよ。
Huh.
すみません、少し出しゃばりすぎてしまいましたでしょうか？
No, but you're really obliging tonight, even for you. Almost like a genuine maid.
ゆうくんはメイドさんがお嫌いですか？
Wouldn't say that, but I do feel a little awkward getting waited on head and foot.
それでしたら心配ありません。今の私はメイドさんである前にゆうくんの彼女ですから。
Let's see. Kinda feels like she's just dancing around the issue, but I guess it's a coherent argument.
それよりまた雨が降り出さないうちに中へどうぞ。
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
無事に帰ってきてくれて本当に良かったです。
風見くんが帰ってきたのね。
はい、榊さんにアドバイスをいただいた通り、食事の後ゆうくんを大浴場に誘導することに成功しました。
Oh lord.
さすが小峰さん、プランに忠実ね。
それも榊さんに完璧な作戦を考えていただいたおかげです。
私の功績なんて大したものではないけれど、あとは教室で勉強した成果を見せるだけね。
はい、この小峰幸、榊さんから教えていただいた知識を駆使して一生懸命頑張ります。
ええ、陰ながら応援しているわ。
Why is there always the weird knock whenever a bath shows up?
I've not got a clue.
Like, I also tried to look up why that's like a fucking trope in anime, and I could not find an answer.
They brought something down and they put it down next to them.
Who knows? Wiping a few beads of sweat from my forehead, I sink into the bathtub down to the neck and let my muscles relax. Ended up stuck on the job for 12 hours straight today. Ultimately, the rat we were waiting for never showed, as I spent every minute of that on standby. After holding the exact same position for all that time, my body's aching and stiff all over. My experiencing long soak in hot water is the best way to fix that. Changed, huh? Should be said her observation applies to the both of us. And I'm not really aware of anything that different about my behavior. And again, I don't think she's wrong about Sachi. The girl's got noticeably thoughtful about the situation she finds herself in. She's been asking questions on her own initiative, actively seeking to understand the meaning of people's actions. I didn't see much of either from Sachi before. They represent clear changes in her normally static pattern of behavior. And we'll just have to see what kind of results they
お
bring.
湯加減はいかがですか、ゆうくん。
Yeah, no problem.
それならよかったです。
Okay, hold on a second.
はい。
How long have you been in here?
変わったかとゆうくんがつぶやいたところからです。
Wasn't completely off guard either. How'd you sneak up on me like that?
以前音を立てずに歩く練習をマキちゃんとしていたことがあったので、その応用です。
Easy enough to talk about moving silently, but in practice, walking without producing a sound is very nearly impossible. Stuff requires a great deal of skill, especially when approaching an alert opponent. And Sachi managed to get this close without tipping me off. The joke about her being a spy in mate's clothing doesn't seem quite so funny anymore. Alright, so why'd you sneak in here? You clearly knew I was taking a bath.
実はお仕事で疲れたゆうくんのお背中をお流しさせていただこうと思いまして。
Wash my back.
はい、一人の彼女として彼氏さんの労をねぎらうのは当然ですから。
The exact connection between showing a gratitude and rinsing my back kind of eludes me, but Sachi brought up this proposal of her own. Whatever the details, I want to encourage that sort of initiative on her part. Alright then, appreciate it.
ありがとうございます。ではこちらの方にお願いします。
Right. Pull myself up out of the grand bath and sit down on the bath stool as directed by Sachi.
それでは始めさせていただきますね、ユージ様。
Okay, I'm not Michiru.
ユウくんは様と呼ばれるのはお嫌いでしたか？
I don't like it or dislike it in particular. I just want to know where this is coming from. The mood, huh? This is nothing for it then.
はい、仕方ありません。
On second thought, that makes no damn sense at all.
ユウくんが乗りツッコミというのも珍しいですね。
Forget my maneuvering. Does this mood really require you to talk to me like I'm some feudal
も
lord?
ちろんです。ここは少しでもいやらしさが欲しいところですから。
I think there are ways to show gratitude that don't involve any lewdness whatsoever, but I suppose there's no need to press the point. Alright, fine. We'll do it your way this time, Sachi.
ありがとうございます。では最初にお湯を流させていただきますね。
As soon as the words are out of her mouth, Sachi carefully picks up a bucket and dumps some pleasantly warm water over
お
my
湯は
shoulders.
熱くありませんか？
Yeah, feels fine.
では次にソープを泡立てさせていただきます。
Right. Next, she thoroughly lathers my back with a layer of frothy soap.
それでは失礼させていただきます。
Now after this line, I feel a distinctly soft sensation against my back. Is this legal? This does not feel legal.
Is anything he does illegal?
テキスト設定を要請。
Better, at least. At the same time, there's a nasal little moan not far below my ear. Sachi, what the hell are you doing?
私はただ
This does no longer help.
ユージ様のお背中を洗わせていただいているだけですよ。
Thank God I have the censorship ready. Like, it's not bad enough to where I feel the need to, like, it absolutely needs to be censored. But it should be censored just to be safe. Like,
just a little frisky.
like a few
Yeah.
glimpses of it shouldn't matter too much considering how late in the video this is.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna go out of my way to censor it in post because, like, anyone that gets off to this can also just buy, like, a casual fashion magazine in a fucking supermarket and get off to that.
Yeah.
I see. Well, as long as you wash my back, I guess it's all good. As if! Were you seriously expecting me to roll with this?
ひどいです、ユウくん。 くんですか？
Because you pressed your chest against me out of nowhere. Isn't that the natural reaction?
大抵の男性はしばらくきょとんとした後、ラッキーと拳を握りしめるのではないでしょうか。
Might be right about that one, actually.
だったら問題ありませんよね。
Nah, look, I'm trying to ask why you felt the need to molest me like this. I just want an explanation. You do have a reason for doing this, right?
理由ですか？
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you didn't just think this up on the spur of the moment.
さすがユウくん。相変わらず私の心が見えているかのような推察です。
Spare me the misguided admiration and get to the explanation.
はい。実は昨日のことがずっと気になっていたんです。
Yesterday's event.
はい。あの後ユウくんが最後までしようとしなかったのは私のセックスアピール不足が原因ということになりまして、今日はモテる限りのいやらしさでユウくんにも気持ちよくなってもらおうということになったんです。
Ah, now I get it. Come to think of it, she did seem a little uneasy after the fact. Guess the sudden aggressive approach makes sense given the context. So, who put that idea in your head?
榊さんです。
Ah, so it's... Wait, it's Sakaki. Seriously?
はい。ユウくんを大浴場に誘導して迫るという作戦は榊さんが考えてくださいました。
You're sure you don't mean Amane?
いいえ、間違いなく榊さんです。しかも親身になって相談にも乗っていただきました。
That girl's giving out advice, let alone in a kindly way. It's definitely a little surprising, but I account for everything she's picked up from browsing the internet all the time. Sakaki might well have Amane beat when it comes to second-hand knowledge about sex. In other words, I have Cyber Sakaki to thank for this.
私はメイド色が強いということもあってそこを生かすべきだという話になったので。
Can't deny that it stimulates male lust for
は
conquest.
い。ユウくんがメイド嫌いでなくてよかったです。
So that's why you asked that question at Schoolgate earlier.
それでこのまま体を洗わせていただいてもよろしいでしょうか。
For that, I want to clear up a misunderstanding of
誤
yours.
解ですか？
Yeah, I thought I said this before, but you've got the wrong idea about why I stopped yesterday. It's not that I don't think you're attractive.
そうなんですか？
It is. For example, I find it fairly arousing when you get naked and press your chest against me.
ならよかったです。
Hearing my reply, Sachi smiles with evident happiness. Imagine a girl earnestly plotting out this ridiculous plan. It's a little hard to hold back a wry smile on my own. But then again, that kind of awkwardness might not be that atypical for someone who's unexperienced. Alright, Sachi, go ahead.
小峰幸一生懸命サービスさせていただきます。
And they fuck.
Tomfoolery at its lowest may have occurred.
When she emerges from the grand bath a few minutes after me, Sachi's beaming smile is noticeably more energetic than usual. You're in a good mood.
はい。当初の目的を達成して榊さんの恩に報いることができましたから。
Is he supposed to be dead or just a voyeur?
しかもあろうことかユウくんから体を洗っていただきました。一見無謀とも言える作戦がうまくいったのは熱心に指導していただいた榊さんのおかげです。
Guess I owe her one then. Anyway, you feeling a little relieved now?
はい。こんな私でもユウくんに気持ちよくなってもらえることが分かって嬉しいです。
Well, seems you're in a pretty good mood already. But I've actually got another little treat for you.
良い知らせ。まさか明日からユウくんもメイド服を着てくれるというサプライズでしょうか。
Is that a treat, not a horror show? Let me take you on a date to the beach tomorrow.
What is this? Datishoku no Hichizukai?
Oh, I hope not.
We don't want to deal with Kyoko. Kyoko is
Not in this universe.
Is psychological warfare.
A torture device.
Sachi, you listening?
すみません。あまりの衝撃に思わず返事をするのを忘れ れてしまっていました。
I'd laugh at this point, but I know you're completely serious. She looks pretty pleased, though. Inviting her seems to have been the right choice. So anyway, I guess that means you're up for the beach?
オールグリーンです。
Sachi
Oh,
bends an
goody.
elbow and strikes the same emphatic salute she used in our earlier training session. Her almost childish enthusiasm is blatantly obvious from the tone of her voice alone. She's not just pleased, she's genuinely excited. By the way, if there's something on your mind, you can talk to me about it next time. You said yourself, didn't you? You're my girlfriend first. Might be a pretty half-assed excuse for you. I might be a pretty half-assed excuse for a human being, but I do know how to listen when people I care about talk.
ゆうくん。
Not that I'm asking you to tell me everything. Just want you to know there's no need to be so reserved. You understand what I'm telling you?
はい。ありがとうございます。ゆうくん。
So that was wholesome. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this one.
Hope everyone enjoyed.
Some tells
Yeah.
me she's in his covers right now.
状況
Either way, we hope you enjoyed this particular part.
Absolutely.
It all went rather well.
Rippling still water? That doesn't sound fucking good.
I hope I made up for the very short session we had last week.
We sure did. It's 3 hours.
Pretty
You
good.
do gotta remember that last year,
No
like, people
problem,
got,
no
like, a lot of Grisaia, considering we also did Leisure before that.
Yeah.
Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this one. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Sayonara.